another watch. But this time we're live, I hope.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live.
Yeah, let us know if the audio's coming through, chats. We hope this works. Like, we've done live streams before, but we always like to double check things that are going. So, yeah, let us know in the chat if the audio's coming through and everything is fine. We're keeping an eye on it right here. And you might have been able to notice we've brought back nightly news.
Yes, it's returned from the dead.
Well, there's a lot of news, and we can't just cover it all the time. We need to stay on top of all the stuff.
It's too much happening.
And this time we're doing it live because we can. But also, actually, interacting with you guys is heaps of fun. Good. The kind of audio's crystal. Lovely to see. Lovely to see.
That's very good. Nathan always likes it when things run smoothly with live streams.
You're good at audio, Nathan, right?
Well, I've got to fix your audio each time you do a video, don't you? There's always a buzz or a hum.
So there's stuff to talk. Excuse me. That's one of the things about live. You're going to hear all the
Shad's noises,
fumbles, all the noises, everything. But also, like, messaging, like, say, talk in chat or super chat if you want us to cover certain things or even bring things to our radar that we might not have been aware of already. Because so when it says nightly news, there's a pop culture news. Okay, that's the main thing we're going to be talking about. But anything kind of relevant as well.
Well, there's some things in here that aren't pop culture, like the YouTube stuff. That isn't really pop culture.
Yeah.
I mean, it crosses into it.
It's relevant to us, at least, yeah.
Excuse me. See, that's what I mean. Noises, right?
Shad noises.
Shad noises.
I didn't add a mute button either, so I'm sorry, guys.
Chat says all Shad's old man sounds. Yes, and they've been getting more prevalent and prominent as I get older. So, thank you. Someone said, love you guys. We love you too. Though I'm always reminded of, have you guys seen Mega Man? It's like,
Oh, yeah.
I love you, Metromet, and I love you, random citizen.
Yes, it was just like that. Love you too, stranger.
But we appreciate the support and also the affection, guys. Means a
Got a
lot.
super chat as well.
Oh, wow.
Do you want to read
Already?
that right now?
Shad, when will you review all the Harry Potter wands? Okay, all right. We have a wand somewhere.
Elder wand right there.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. It's got a good grip.
That's not the right size. That's very, very short.
Well,
They're like this long.
Okay. So Tyrant is saying my wand is short.
Yeah.
Because, like, in the movie, or is
No.
it it's like a book thing?
No, they're legit like this big. They're like 10, 11 inches. That's like 8.
Hang on.
Oh, yeah.
No, this
okay.
is like 10 inches.
It's too short.
I think this is 10 inches.
That's
Tyrant is saying 10 inches is too short.
That's a
Okay,
Shad.
we're
That's
measuring
Shad.
ones now, aren't we?
We can compare wand sizes later, Tyrant.
So, how is everybody doing? Everybody good? It's what time is it for us? It's morning.
Yeah, it's 11:15.
11:15
On a Thursday morning. Yeah.
Nice and hot already. Super hot.
We've got air conditioning for that, don't worry.
I'm same as always. At least I'm not in a crash phase at the moment.
Yeah.
That's when I'm very unfunctional. But yeah, things are things. But other than that, things are going great.
They are.
Great. Should we get into news topics?
I guess we should.
Okay. So the first one, I was excited for this. I think you know more about this than I do. But
Okay, well, maybe not.
maybe not. Okay. So a recent video game, which I was excited for,
I've heard of this. I even watched some of the trailers for it last night.
Atomic Heart, apparently has been boycotted.
Yes.
Yes. Is it because it's from Russian developers? Tell me why.
I think it's all just like everything about it is Russian.
I know it's like based in Soviet Union style,
Yeah.
like that. That's what the setting is for the game, but I don't actually know where the developers are from.
Can we look this up? Like,
Sure.
we're going to do research on the fly live
Jamie,
to
can you
double
pull
check.
that up?
Yeah,
sure.
all right, because that's right. Because I heard that it was like there is some controversy that might be related to where it's being developed, but I want to double check that because that was just an offhand comment I heard online somewhere. And not everything you hear online is true and correct. What have you heard about this, Tyrant? Well, Nathan.
Basically, it has ties to Russia, and there's a whole thing going on with Russia in the world at the moment. So,
is there?
people want to
Okay.
boycott it for that reason.
So it's not the studio isn't based in Russia, but it has ties to. So the founder is Russian.
Yeah.
And they're boycotting it for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, all right. If people are boycotting for that, they need to calm down. Hold up. Like, you don't villainize people just because their nationality. Like,
Are you sure about that?
It's kind of.
what's their nationality?
This is what people do these days.
Well, let's not do that. This is not,
Yeah, I
not
agree.
good,
Let's not do
people.
that. But
I mean,
first time on the internet.
it's just it reminds me of when World War II broke out. Right, the Japanese citizens living in America got oppressed and attacked.
You were there firsthand, right?
No, this is historical accounts.
right.
See, we
Oh,
can
it's not
learn
that
from history, tyrants. It reminds me kind of that line. Like, has anything been revealed about? They say he's got ties to Russia.
He's Russian.
And
okay.
look, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine is actually so muddy. All right, and there are some concerning things on both sides in terms of that conflict, and I don't want to dive into the nitty gritty about that, but it's to the point where it's too convoluted for me to really care if someone supports one side or the other in this. I just think war is bad. It's a crappy situation overall. And
We have very bold statements here. War is bad.
war is bad. Like, you'd think that wouldn't be a shocking statement, but like,
There's some people who would attack you for it, for being like, hang on, you're not picking sides? So you're not going to be part of the conflict and all this other stuff?
could we like move that so I can still see the chat?
Yes.
Wasn't there also? I think you said it yesterday that the game is really buggy or something, or there's like actual.
Oh, no, so
optimi-
optimization, I don't know. I've just heard that it's an overhyped game because it's something that
Right,
people
'cause
kind
it's-
of.
It's like a $60 price tag.
Yeah.
I mean, they certainly made it look
It looks
triple A in the trailers and stuff, but I've heard the actual gameplay itself is different. So Mauler has been doing he's been live streaming it, and he has had interesting comments in regards to how bad the dialogue is, and
That seems to be a common running theme lately.
the
with
dialogue
games.
is bad in
Yeah,
games.
Yeah.
I haven't
like
heard
the
that in.
writers.
I didn't hear about that in Hogwarts Legacy though. Is the dialogue bad?
It's not bad. It's just very binary. It's either one or the other. There's not really much options. You don't really get to pick
There's
much.
no layers. It's not very interesting to watch or listen to.
Yeah.
I heard in this game, Atomic Heart, that there is a fridge that's trying to do inappropriate things with people.
Oh, I've seen the bots. There's been lots of clips about the bots lately.
The twins.
Yeah, the waifu
Yeah.
ones. Yeah.
So
Sorry about that. Yeah.
I just can't get into first-person shooters. My preferences have gotten worse as I got older, where it's really hard for me to enjoy a game unless it has very distinct features, and character creation and third-person view is like two massive ones for me.
I personally prefer third-person view over first-person. It just finds it a bit jarring, but that's not a deal breaker for me.
Well, for me, I just can't get it.
I like first-person shooters. I like first-person in general.
Your first
Is
person-
it?
All right.
Okay.
Look, hold up. I played heaps of Counter-Strike, and Counter-Strike is fun at the LAN parties and all that stuff. So, of course, there are first-person shooters I've
Yeah.
enjoyed, but I still have trouble getting into them.
I think it's because in this game that it has lots of melee elements as well, and that's where first-person for me sort of falls apart. First-person shooters are fine. It's just when you have like
Melee,
swords and
yeah,
stuff. Like,
okay.
I don't really like that. And the price point sets expectations. And if it's not a AAA game and it's priced as one, that's a bigger sin to me than having some ties to vague Russia.
Interesting point you bring up here, because in reality, though, the quality of AAA titles has been lowering massively, and they've been getting released with so many bugs that I have trouble determining value of games now.
This is true. I will admit, this is true. This is true, yes. But that's basically everything that I've heard, at least with Atomic Heart so far. I still want to pick it up, but like on a Steam sale. for
Yeah.
$25.
I've seen nothing, and look, maybe I'm completely uninformed on the topic, but I've seen nothing that wouldn't stop me getting it if it was a game I was interested in. And I do wonder where the line is for me, where I feel like it's preferable to boycott something because I don't want to support the company making it. I know I'm pretty much there with Disney.
Yeah.
They've crossed so many lines where I think it's just a scummy company that I don't want to support them. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not informed, because there's also the side of things where, you can appreciate the art while not appreciating the artist. And I think that's kind of important to try and remember, because a work should be judged on its own merits, you would think.
Yeah.
But I know I have a line because, for instance, the new Flash film coming out and Ezra Miller, that sours so much of that film. And can I separate the art from the artist in that regard? And I have a level, and I just don't know where it is exactly, but I know it's there for really everyone. I think everyone has that line where they're like, all right, I'm done. I'm not supporting this.
Yeah, and I feel like it's less of a boycott. I think boycotting is usually you want this thing, you like it, and you're purposely going to not do it because you want to send a message.
That's a very
Where
important
I think
distinction.
a lot of us, we stop watching or supporting things just because we've lost interest now. Like Disney, there's so many things going on behind the scenes that you just like for me,
been
Star
crap.
Wars. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to watch another Star Wars TV show because they're crap, not because I want to send Disney a message.
Well,
but
this
because...
is an interesting point you bring up again here. Like, because I want to support the good things that either companies and individuals do when it's good, even if the individuals or companies are doing bad things. And so Disney, right? Say Disney comes out with a great film that actually supports good, virtuous, even traditional things with a great male hero, traditional masculinity, promoting the virtues that we want in society and stuff like that. I think I not only would want to, I think I'd always need to support that for the good in it, even if Disney still is a scummy company doing all these bad things behind the thing. Because that's the type of film that's even subverting their own intentions, because it's supporting something that they don't seem to be supporting by their own actions behind the scene, yet they're promoting something that they're not living, but they're still they made something to promote it, and I think that would still be good to try and promote.
Right.
What's that?
It gets very sticky, I think.
It does.
Figuring out whether to support something behind the scenes or doing bad stuff at the front, masking basically their actions. But I know some people also in chat were talking about,
Hey, nerd cookies.
Hello. We're talking about how the company was sharing some player data with the Russian government.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
what?
that's where I was like,
Well, I don't know if it's for this game. They said it in the past that companies shared data.
okay.
So
see now, that's something that would bring me close to the line. Like, for instance, I would never use TikTok. It's basically a spying app for the Chinese government at this point.
they've got balloons for that.
Basically, oh no,
They've got balloons.
There is a good business opportunity, but that doesn't mean you have to install it on your personal phone and devices. Like if you have it on
How
some...
do you use it?
use the desktop.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Go to a public library and just sign in.
I'm so.
Not that I even like to... I'm just saying, yeah.
But seriously, the type of stuff.
Nathan has TikTok.
I do.
Hi guys, I'm Nathan. Do it. Can you do the voice for us, please?
Hi guys, I'm Nathan, and this is my game I'm working on. Please follow me along for more TikToks. Thanks.
Yeah. You're being way too harsh on yourself there. You're not really like that, I hope. I haven't seen Nathan's TikTok.
He is.
What?
I didn't delete them. It wasn't. Okay. I don't want to get into this, but I have to. By the time I'm making these TikToks, my day is over. I have very little energy. And so I'm basically just like everything that's left in my day. So
Give him some slack, people.
I'm not proud of them. I should take them down. Don't go find them now, okay?
Everyone's gonna find them.
No!
Let's put it this way. He wouldn't show me. He wouldn't actually...
I
had
don't
to
show
go...
him anything, though, because you know how harsh she is. You've seen on these videos. You've seen what it's like with Shad.
I was curious, so I went and...
Stalked me.
I did not...
Tracked me down. I didn't give you permission for this, but somehow you managed to find
It's
me.
on a public network.
Yeah.
I don't need your permission.
True.
But yes, go find them, everybody. They are hilarious. Give them a follow on TikTok, and I'm sure you'll get more.
I'll just start. No, deleting the camera. No, it's okay. If you guys want to go watch it, it's fine. Well, how do we get onto this again? TikTok. Yeah, okay. But then what about, for example, Epic? Tencent owns a percentage of them, and there's been things going about like Epic game launch.
I know this is the thing. It's so hard to keep track of everything because everyone who says, "How dare you support this X thing, this company, because they're really doing all these horrible things behind the scenes," yet they all own phones or iPods that are made in countries with horrible, like near slave labor conditions and stuff, and they're willing to support that. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't object to, bad things, but it's so hard to keep track of everything. Like, you can only do so much.
This is very true. Like, I have a Google account, and sometimes I just question whether or not I should have a Google account because I have no idea what they're using behind the scenes. But at the same time, we need one. Like for YouTube, you need a Google account, or these services. And the thing is too, right, Google wasn't like this maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, but now they've since grown into this company that obviously shares data with other third parties, which has changed. And so you could sign up for a service, tomorrow.
I want to address this one.
Okay.
After the success of Hogwarts Legacy, I think the elite are going to reevaluate woke, non-woke media. I'm really enjoying the game.
And that was from Jack Manson.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
That game is very... The gameplay is good, but there are definitely elements that they are pandering to the people that were attacking them.
Oh, yeah.
Clear as day.
But it is also a massive sign that there are certain instances where cancel mobs have no power.
Right.
And honestly, they would never have any power if they were just ignored. This is like, can people learn from this? If you just say, no, screw you, we're just doing it anyway.
But it did get a lot of support from people on the opposite side because they wanted to support specifically against that. But the problem was when you actually play the game, it's very progressive.
Yeah, like if they hadn't gone out and tried to boycott it and people had played that game, then they would have done the opposite.
It would be fully on their side.
Yeah.
Though there's a really funny, I think we've even mentioned in a video, the trans NPC in there that's... It's just so interesting where they showed representation in it, okay, but it is clearly a trans man by the voice, and I actually don't have an issue because that's a very honest representation where I like. The reality is there's a lot of trans people who just don't pass, right? And they just had this person there who's clearly not passing, and people got upset. But then what do they want? Because if they made them pass, you wouldn't be able to tell that they're trans, and then you wouldn't be able to have the representation. And so there was someone on Nexus Mods that changed the voice to make the voice sound more feminine.
Okay, so they're going to be banned.
They got banned off of Nexus Mods. But isn't that what they would want? What are the rules now? I'm so confused.
We're bringing all the spice today.
But I don't like. What do they want? Wouldn't that be like because they were complaining that it was so clearly not passing, and then someone made them pass, and then they got banned, and that's like what are you supposed to do?
There is no winning. You give up.
Yeah,
there's no point.
This is why you don't pander to the woke the mob because
just make something how you want to make it.
You won't you'll never satisfy them. You just make a good thing and this is like in terms of representation, right? I don't care if it's appropriate for the story. Good. That's what you do. The focus should be what is appropriate for the story. For instance, House of the Dragon has probably some of the best integration of a homosexual character in any media at the moment, and it was so integral to the plot. And they gave justice to him, and they didn't pander either. He wasn't like this paragon of virtue or this horrible villain. It was just a well-written character, and it was so important in pivotal plot. Like, you need that. You need that character in there, and perfect example, okay, where it's not forced in for just an agenda. It's there for story and plot. Another example of a great, gay character is Captain Holt in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Brilliant, okay? But it's when it's forced just to appease certain agendas and things, that's when it's like, come on. It usually undermines story because they're prioritizing appeasing and ticking boxes instead of writing good story and stuff. And it usually just is a sign of, it's going to be a dumpster fire. We saw that with Rings of Power. We saw all the signs, girl boss, Galadriel and everything. And it's like, you're just ticking boxes and prioritizing the wrong thing, not story. So that's where that ends.
It's been a long day. Like, it's been very long since I thought of Rings of Power.
I know, right?
And you brought it up and then it just washed over me.
Not much time has passed, yet it feels like ages. It was like so bad, you just want to excise it from your mind.
Yeah.
You don't want to think about math. Galadriel, math.
There was a tempest in me.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
So, rounding this back to Atomic Heart, it's interesting. Like, I don't... If the company has done really bad things, I can see people then maybe wanting to avoid it. That would be their own choice. But I don't think you can just try and shame people like, you can't, because they can't be bothered researching. Like, there's too much crap to try and deal with. And sometimes people just want a game to enjoy. Like,
there was a comment, I think it was Super Chat before.
And I know we've already mentioned some Super Chats and everything. Sorry if we miss yours, but we're going to try and catch them all at the end of this stream.
Yeah.
Okay?
This one here by Shark for $5 said, informing people or customers of a corporation's bad behavior is fine, but attacking those people for deciding to be customers is not.
Yes.
And that's what you're saying.
I think
it's
that's a good point.
Obviously, there's way too many companies.
Who was that from?
That was from Shark. Shark Dentures. You
Thanks,
know,
mate.
it's good for us to be informed of what companies are doing, but then trying to take action, well, taking, what would you say, like control from other people on their actions. I think that's what we're kind of saying you should stop doing. Inform us, please. Let us know what these companies are doing so we can make our own decisions, but don't make the decision for us.
Yeah. And people usually have a certain amount of energy they can devote to, you could call it activism, but like standing up for the things that they want to push aside. And they're going to have a priority of what's most important, really. And then they're just not going to have time and energy to cover everything that people think you need to be concerned about, because holy crap, people need to freaking live their lives. But they will, people most often stand up for the most important things, and good for them for doing that. But if it's not going to be the thing that you think is so important, get over it.
But with this boycott, it seems like the reason is tenuous at best. It's not even a valid reason.
Yeah.
Just that it has ties to Russia. That's
Well, I would
very-
need more valid reasons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's very vague. I have more of an issue of the price tag than that.
Yeah, and the game looked fun from the trailers. Like the setting looked really intriguing.
I was digging that.
Yeah, I thought the setting and world build and design looked great.
Ooh.
Kikoman.
Kikoman. All right, we got
Back at it
applause.
again.
Mate, thank you, you crazy man, you. So Kikoman for $200 says, show me, show you, Kikoman. Indulge? That's indulge?
Yeah, indulge us.
Indulge us with the Fight Kikoman song on YouTube. Hope you're doing well, Shad. Waiting for the Leatherbound. We're working on it. Also, check Flying Sparks. Yeah, Flying Sparks by John De La Rosa. And Shotgun Samurai. So JDA, John De La Rosa. And the Quaff? Their Kickstarter Indiegogo ends today. Finally, ADWC, the number one Drink with Crazy, the number one Iron Age Booty Daddy. Woo.
Kikoman.
Please don't say that ever. Don't say those words ever.
Well, he is the number one Iron Age YouTuber.
Yeah, it was just that other little bit you said after it. No, don't say that.
But guys, yeah, like there is some great stuff happening in the Indiegogo scene. You can sort of check it out. So that was, we go back. It was Shotgun Samurai and Flying Sparks. Go check that out. I didn't think Flying Sparks was on Indiegogo. I think
Kickstarter.
I think it's Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kickstarter is Flying Sparks, and Indiegogo is probably Shotgun Samurai. Great stuff happening on the Indiegogo scene, and we have hit kind of some delays, unfortunately, in working with the printers in getting the graphic novel stuff out. We are actively working on it. Don't worry. The money is in its own separate account. It's sacred. We're not touching it except for the expenses that we need to produce this stuff. We're actively working to get that to you. So don't worry. It's there, and I can't wait to get it to you.
Didn't we relaunch the...
We're thinking about, because of the delays we hit with the printers, we're actually thinking of doing like a second chance mini campaign on Kickstarter that I might be able to launch for people to grab it who missed out, because we're forced to wait anyway because of these delays we've hit. So and look, it's actually quite frustrating because we ended the campaign early because we were trying to lock in a better price for paper, and things happened.
Waited so long, papers.
Well, it wasn't our fault that happened.
no,
It was
it wasn't,
frustrating. But we missed the boat. And so the campaign would have been available longer anyway for people to get. And so there might be a chance for people to grab some books as a mini second chance campaign. We're working on that. But anyway, Kikoman, thank you so much for that. Very generous super chat. Okay, so that's kind of the Atomic Heart stuff that I've just been noticing. It's an interesting topic.
It's sad because it's a genre I like. I love Bioshock and System Shock games, but from what I've heard, it isn't what I would want from a game either. So I don't even care about the boycott stuff. I just want a good game.
Yeah. The next subject is something that we covered. We did a review of it. When was it? A couple of days ago? Last week?
Last week.
They all
It was
blur
like a week
together
ago. No, it was like a week ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a week ago.
Was the Ant-Man, but more specifically, MODOK.
Good old MODOK.
And Darren. Good old Darren and his face. His CGI
Just-
face.
Good old Darren and his ugly, ugly face.
Yeah.
If you want a visual representation of Marvel in the modern day, just have a look at their attempt at MODOK.
Well, I think my Photoshop of you as MODOK was better.
Was that me? I don't remember seeing that.
So I've got some here for us. Do I want to do this one? Let's find out.
Let's find out. Hopefully this is the right Wrong button.
Ah, okay. Do you guys want to keep talking? I'm gonna. Oh, I don't know if I can fix stuff.
We're professionals.
We're doing it live.
Doing it live.
We'll figure this out as we go. We wanted to.
I
show
got
a picture.
screenshots, but we only have. I was silly and didn't actually record the screen. It's just a window.
Right.
This is what happens.
We are professionals doing professional things.
Professional.
Absolutely.
Well, we can talk about MODOK because I have seen, because Instagram is a good gauge, I feel like, because you're not going to get.
Is it?
You're not going to get just one opinion on Instagram, just one radical opinion. You're going to get both. Okay. And I've seen a lot of people both defending and attacking Ant-Man. And a lot of the Marvel stands are like, it's not that bad. You're all just complaining too much. And then I've seen other people say like, did you see his face? Like, what are you talking about? This looks terrible. I remember in the theater, I think we said it in the review, we burst out. We actually like...
We all laughed.
And groaned.
It was hilarious to see it in 4K right there.
Oh, wow. Gosh, it was just awful. And people willing to defend this just goes to show you how much crap they're willing to overlook to defend their beloved IPs.
Well, I think because a lot of the time the CGI it's not terrible. Like, it's not enough that you're going to go, oh, this is terrible. But with that, it was like legitimately.
Undeniable. It was.
When you saw his face, you could see the blur,
I know.
the artifacts. It's like.
When it turned on the side, it still looked flat. It was just the one of the. Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah. And then we won't get into spoilers.
We
but
will
yeah.
avoid spoilers
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Quantumania.
Would you say his arc wasn't at all satisfying?
At all.
It's a dog crap film. And that's what we'll say.
You know, I was surprised. I thought other people would like it. Like, I thought when we were like, nah, it's not that good. I thought everybody else was going to be like, oh, it's not that bad. But it turns out a lot of people...
Everyone's
See,
like,
I was
they're not feeling it.
Exactly, because you see, more people are waking up to the crap Marvel. And we saw signs, because if there were more people being, critical of Thor Love and Thunder, and that's Thor, Ant-Man was always the less popular one. And so there was going to be less, charity given to this film, I felt.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So...
Sorry, I just saw a topic from someone in the chat. We should also probably talk about that too.
Yes.
That is,
Thank you, Static Noise. He says, $5. Greetings to those in the West Island. Shad, as an author, how do you feel about the Roald Dahl edits? It's hard to express my rage and anger about something like this. If someone changed things in my book after I died, I would friggin' want to come back from the dead and destroy them. I would
You'd
be
haunt them.
so pissed. You have no idea.
Right, okay. So I'm just going to write down exactly this, so then when you're gone, I can do exactly that.
Like,
this is evidence, everyone. When it happens, come back to this stream.
Like, the level of disrespect to the author to do that is astronomical. And it must be because he's passed away.
Yeah.
And so whoever owns the rights is doing that.
It's the publisher.
It's the publisher, is it?
Well, it dovetails into things like Rings of Power, like thinking that you can do better than the source material and just making up whatever you want.
Well, what the publishers did apparently was they hired some sensitivity editors to make it more accepting of others.
I can't stand sensitivity editors. By the way, Literature Devil, I see you. Yes, the edits on the man's work should be considered vandalism. I agree. Like, sensitivity readers...
What a poor excuse for a job. What do you do? Oh, I turn people into snowflakes.
Now, I'm not saying authors shouldn't do research to be able to address topics well, but at the same time, if I feel the author's intent should be to be as true to the characters you've made as possible, okay? Now, I have a character in my own novel. And look, could you grab my novel? I'm just going to... Why not? I'm going to shill it while we're here. My book, Chronicles of Everfall, Shadow of the Conqueror, right?
Don't hit the mic.
There is a prominent... There's a prominent character in my novel that is dealing with trauma, okay? And my focus on it was to be honest and true to this character's trauma as possible, and I never gave it a label. I didn't research what type of trauma. I was like, how would this character react? And not only that, how did I want this character to react for the purposes of the story? This is important because I have another character who could be considered had to deal with a similar type of abuse, and the way she processes it is near opposite to the way this other character I'm talking about processes it. But the goal was be as honest and real to the characters as possible. And the response has actually kind of shocked me because there's been multiple people who suffer from post-traumatic stress that actually have written to me, sent emails, and left reviews talking about how real how this character dealt with her trauma and post-traumatic stress. And I actually didn't research post-traumatic stress. I just know generally about trauma. I know from my own experience and people I've interacted with. And then it was about how would this character do it? And as a result, it hit home to a lot of people who experience similar type of stuff. If it didn't, though, the point is, was it true to the character? And so do your research where you need to try and be as informed as you can, but then also be true to the characters. And I think authors, empower yourselves to do that. Don't give the power away to a friggin' sensitivity reader. Actually, like, if I gave my book to a sensitivity reader, they'd have a stroke. I'm not kidding. It's about a former tyrannical emperor who slaughtered millions of people and did other really bad things. And that's actually why I don't think a publisher would even consider. Oh, it's funny. I had one of the bigger literary agents show interest in my book. And if you're wondering who it was Joshua Bilms. He's the literary agent for Brandon Sanderson. I queried him and he was interested in it. And he was even open to taking on the book, but I had already published it at that point, and I was looking for an agent to try and do translation, foreign market publication stuff. And he wanted the whole thing, but it was already published, so it didn't work out. But I think he's a great agent. And but anyway, so I did have someone in the industry, big in the industry, show interest in the book. Yeah, I think now, way too problematic. And this is why I'm like, self-publishing people, I keep the control, because if you self-publish, guess what happens? The publisher, they won't be able to change your work later on.
And it can be successful. We've seen it a bunch
It can
now.
be more successful. Like, look, the research I did was a couple of years old, but I think it'd actually be even worse now. The average amount of sales that books make, so if you take all published books as a whole, okay, and you average the amount of sales they get, on average, every book is 20,000 sales.
Right.
Okay. Actually, no, I think it's 10. No, 10,000. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, because it was a while back when I did the research, but very low on average, and that's traditional publishing, everything. And so the hitting the blockbuster level sales like Brandon Sanderson or brain fart, but J.K. Rowling. I want to mention this guy because he's a big name in the fantasy. He does now. If the book is a magic user in the modern day. You guys wouldn't know it, but my brain just went dead.
We don't read books.
It's a good book series, but anyway, those are the blockbuster, right? Tiny minority amongst all published authors everywhere.
Right.
And so one of the things that really kind of made Joshua Bilms kind of pay attention is when I mentioned the sales in my book.
Right.
And at the moment I'm approaching, it's between 40 and 50,000 sales. That's collectively audiobook, but those are numbers that people would really crave. Those are big, good numbers for a debut novel, right? And so, you can be, it's an unbalanced thing because I have my YouTube channel to market the book, but guess what? That's one of the reasons I started YouTube, right? It was part of the thing. And so I did it intentionally as a possibility for independent, publication. And you can get crazy successful, especially it is so accessible now, more accessible now to self-publish than any other time in human history, guys. Like the print-on-demand system is, back in the day, if you wanted to self-publish, you had to
print it yourself.
you have to go to a printer, order a massive print batch, and it would have to be delivered here, and you'd have to somehow sell it, and the online marketing wasn't a thing, so you'd have to either approach bookstores, try and get it. It was insane. It was untenable, and then you'd have to do fulfillment yourself even, and it was just like the barriers. But now it's so accessible, so capable. So going back to the whole sensitivity reader thing, it's like you're just giving.
So just to confirm, you don't want anybody to make changes once you die? Like, no?
Or even when he's alive, I don't think.
No, I've made changes. Like, I'm the author. I have the right to do that. The second edition, which was only available in the Indiegogo campaign, and might be, and once, so the second edition will be publicly available after the fulfillment of the Indiegogo thing is done. But there's special collector versions of it in the Indiegogo campaign, and in the second edition, I've changed only a couple things. Mainly, it's just polishing the whole thing, improving stuff, and only one or two retcons of minor things that were just world-building pet peeves for me.
Yeah.
Exactly. You weren't changing the way that you called someone. You weren't being more sensitive in certain areas. You weren't calling the Oompa Loompas small men and then small people now.
Well, interestingly, I did soften certain things.
Which is softened.
So the word I don't want to get censored on YouTube, but so penis I might have changed to manhood,
Okay, yeah.
Okay, just like something that is doesn't jar the reader too much and stuff that is easier to kind of flow through in reading it. And also the rape word, so I just said rape, right? I might have tried and soften the delivery of that in certain areas in the second edition to just so it's not so much of a punch in the face, you know?
That's fair.
But I didn't change the events that happened or your contradicted things or anything like that. But a sensitivity reader would be, holy crap, they'd have a heart attack. I don't know where that begin with my book. Would you here, Tyrant? Can you put that? Yeah. So the Roald Dahl thing, so people know in case I haven't heard. What have they changed specifically?
So there's things like, I think one of the descriptions of the witches was ugly beast. They've just changed it to beast.
Oh, and they took fat as well.
Yeah, or fatty and fat, that's gone out to like being large or big. Oompa Loompas are now men and women. There's not just men. There's other stuff too. But yeah, they're basically just... Like yours makes sense because those things you're talking about are quite heavy, big things. But they're like... The witch is still like an ugly beast. They just don't use the word ugly anymore because it's a dangerous word. You can't use that word. But it's funny. I now want to go out and buy all the like originally published versions of these books for my kids to read and not this like newer version because Oompa Loompas, okay, they're all guys. Since the beginning of time.
So how do they procreate?
That is a question we do not ask because they are children.
Oh, I thought you knew the canon. Just
No, I
curious.
didn't know the canon.
Maybe the chat knows canon.
So... All right. When are we going to get male representation amongst Amazonian tribes? Okay, they were fine having no men amongst the Amazon tribes with Wonder Woman. I can't stand this. The representation is always very one-sided. What you see in this just crazy clown world we're living in, and because this like, Oompa Loompas, what's offensive about them all being men? It's almost I wouldn't even think they're almost non-gendered. You'd always think.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, I think the description was they look like small men. It doesn't actually say that they are men and this is how they procreate or whatever else. Like,
because you don't even want kids. Like that's not even on their radar. It doesn't matter. Aren't
they all like indentured servants as well?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't want to use the other word, but
because
you're
right.
But like, aren't
the
they?
impression we kind of get from
That's
it.
what you get from it.
Like he just found them, didn't he? Then he like just took them all home. Just found these tribes. Is that in the movie or in the book as well? Like I don't know.
You see Willy Wonka behind the scenes is just whipping him. Get to work!
I'm pretty sure there's like robot chicken like episodes of that.
I guess we have to get the original editions and see if it's in there.
Yeah. Well, like, I actually liked some of the Roald Dahl stuff growing up. Like they read that during class. It was great. It was funny because it felt like it was still a kid's story, but it had this element of, edge. Yeah, edge. It was kind of
danger.
Edgy. They didn't shy away from things like calling someone ugly.
Or traumatizing the kids reading it.
Yeah. I've got to have that. You got to have that experience at least once in your childhood.
I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and seriously, we mentioned this in one of the other videos, but the Labyrinth and the Dark Crystal and the Storyteller, like, there are some stuff that traumatizes you as a kid and hardens you up, makes you strong.
It does.
Like watching Scar kill Mufasa
Yeah.
in The Lion King. That cut pretty deep.
But seriously, I think about when Tarzan defeats Clayton and the guy hangs himself, and you see the vine just tighten, and you don't need to show it, but that's implied so heavily. It's like,
On to another topic.
I guess so. I think we covered that most, but yeah, I'm infuriated by that thing. And
Did you want to take a pick?
I just would say, Roald Dahl would be. It's so common amongst authors to just be protective of their works, and these people changing it, they're the ones who are like, oh yeah, we love Roald. If you're changing his work, you don't love his work. You think it's problematic. You think it's so insulting. It's unbelievable.
I also think they did the same thing with Dr. Seuss. I'm pretty sure they changed some of his stuff, which is like really dumb because if half his words are made up,
what are you
changing? Okay. And I'm also just worried about they're changing these classics now. What are they going to come for next? First it was Dr. Seuss and Roald Dahl. They're going to Harry Potter.
Oh,
are they going to touch that?
So here's another
love to
topic,
touch that.
because I said an author has the right to change her own work. I want to hedge
With
that
the
a little.
exception.
I want to hedge that because there is the death of the author thing. Okay,
Right.
When the author starts to betray the purpose, original intent, and soul of their
Hey,
own
Shad,
work.
did you know Dumbledore's gay?
I would never have guessed it.
Oh, right.
But if it, to me, that's actually not a big thing, because
Yeah,
if he is, it wasn't relevant to the story, and so.
See, I actually, I was on TikTok last night, and this interview came up with J.K. Rowling talking to Daniel Radcliffe about this very thing.
Did you? Okay.
Yes, and I may have sided with her a little bit because of the way that she presented it. She said that, she'd been with these characters for so long. She had this backstory, like with McGonagall, there's this whole story with her being in love with a muggle, and then she'd give it up and be a celibate and be a professional, all sort of stuff. And it was just one of those background things that was never really mentioned. It never came to the story. Same with Dumbledore. And she also said, she had it with the story with Grindelwald, so when kids are reading it, they just think, oh, he's a really good friend with Grindelwald, and that was that. It wasn't until I think they were making one of the movies and the directors had written down the script that Dumbledore liked this girl, and then J.K. Rowling's like, actually, he doesn't like girls, and that's when the thing happened. Now, this could be a big lie that she's made up to protect herself, but at the same time, I think with authors, and I think you know this too, Shad, there's a lot of character work done behind the scene that you do as well as an author.
Oh yeah, there is.
Headcanon. But you're the author, so your headcanon
My headcanon is canon. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
So other people don't know that. So you could come out and say something about your book, and people are like, well, I didn't know that was canon. It's like, well, yeah, it's my headcanon, which is canon.
Or even here's a bit of peek behind the curtains of the author thing and stuff. Sometimes writers, and I do this too, right, purposefully don't world build certain things. That if it doesn't come up in the story, you can leave it blank. Meaning that there's opportunity as you continue to write to fill in that if it comes up in the future stories. Like, oh, it would be really useful if this has been the backstory, but hey, because I didn't already lock myself into that, you can then fill it out as it goes forward.
Yeah.
So I think we covered all of that. And I do think an author can even betray their own work at times. All right. Now, by the way, so the live streams, we're not going to be going huge lengths of time. It's going to be 1 to 2 hours nightly news live streams, I'm thinking. But
You may have
We'll see how we go.
well, you may have noticed that we've been doing a lot of Shadiversity stuff. We've been trying to
Up the game.
up the game. We want to bring more content for it. This is all right to say? We can say this?
Yeah.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah, cool.
So we're still obviously going to be doing Night's Watch all the time, but we've got Shadiversity to do as well. We're trying to get lots of content for you
there's
guys.
stuff to be edited. We're working very hard here, especially the crew, and so I really appreciate them. And the video on Shadiversity I love it. It's done so well, but also it's just a great video. I'm really happy with it. And everyone brought their A game. So Tyrant, Nate, and Nathan was the guy behind the camera. He was doing the camera.
He
work
was
there.
MVP that day. It was, we mentioned at the start, it's hot, but it was actually hot. And we
my
were
burn's
out.
gone away now, but yeah, there was a good burn.
We were in the sun for
And I got on the
8
castle.
hours.
It was like a full day filming, basically.
We did the calculations with the shorts included. We filmed 10 videos on Monday.
including the
Those
shorts.
are including shorts. Shorts are you can get them done a bit quicker.
But no, it was 6 without the shorts.
Oh, really?
It was 6 without the shorts. 6
Oh
Shadiversity.
boy, that is like pumping the content out.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so next topic.
Which one did you want to go with?
Probably James Gunn Superman.
Okay. I know nothing about this. Do you know anything?
This is your.
Well, I was just looking cursory. James Gunn was brought on to write for the Superman Legacy, the Superman he announced, that Superman movie. He was brought on to write for that about 6 months ago, before any of the Henry Cavill public firing, any of the drama started to happen. So people are starting to call him out on it, saying, well, you were saying that originally Henry Cavill's fine and he can stay in, but then you've been writing for this Superman movie for 5 months.
Was he the one doing that? Like saying, yes, we're going to get... Because I don't think we have enough information to know exactly. Because it felt like there were other people...
There were other people who were at DC, though, who were saying that he's going to be on board. Like,
Yes, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And
then-
there were people publicly saying that James Gunn wants to fire him, and he was clowning on those people, saying they're lying and stuff like that. Remember? 'Cause
really?
there was,
I didn't see
there was
that.
another YouTuber that he specifically responded to.
Yeah,
who was,
that's right. He did a whole hate thing with them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just not excited for James Gunn's DC. I'm just really not feeling it.
Look, he hasn't sold me on it. I think there's a lot of misses. And even just like the Superman Legacy project, right? Feels like it's a massive miss. He's saying the reason why they needed to get rid of Cavill was because they wanted to go with a younger Superman. It's going to be a young Superman. And I wasn't sold on that either. Like, Henry, look, is older, but he still looks young and is ripped as hell. Like, I think...
This may be a rumor, but I did see that apparently he wants the Superman Legacy, the actor or something like, to be in his like around 30, and Henry Cavill's only 39. So people are saying, "Well, why did you get rid of him?" That may be a rumor. I'm not 100% sure on that one.
The other thing is like Superman Legacy. It seems like such a stupid title if this is the beginning of something. Like, are you going to try and say he's establishing his legacy? But it just implies that this is at the end of his thing.
Yeah.
And
it's not till 2025.
It's a while.
yeah,
It's a
and
long time.
Why would you wait to 2025 to get your Superman out? Lead with it.
there's issues. And me and Tyrant have a dedicated video kind of talking about it. It's really in response to the Flash stuff.
I think that went up last night. That was last night's video.
It was last night? So, yeah, which
Yeah,
one was last
last
night?
night was
Yeah,
the
it was
Flash.
last
The
night.
Flash one, yeah.
Batman, yeah.
And so, yeah, we talk about it more in depth there about some of the concerns we have for the DC reboot and all that. And so we'll let you watch that video if you want to hear our further thoughts on it. Is there new news on Indiana Jones 5?
There was...
I
Sorry,
heard
go
some
ahead.
things.
We're in sync times today. I know there's a Super Bowl trailer, and what was it? It was a spot. It was like 30 seconds of something. And I watched it,
I'm here to rescue you.
and it was basically like he's flying a plane, or is he off? Either way, a girl saves him. That was the whole spot. Indy's incompetent. He can't save himself on a plane. This girl comes to save him.
Okay, let me be a bit more descriptive. The plane is on fire in the air, and she's hanging out a door, and he basically goes, "What are you doing here?" And she screams back, "Here to rescue you." And then that's basically the whole spot, at least from what I saw.
We have a trailer reaction to Indy 5, and one of the clear kind of things in the trailer...
I like Crystal Skull. I am
You have to
say,
preface. It's like being vegan. You wish to say, "I love Crystal Skull."
Hey Nathan, did you know that I like Crystal Skull?
Yeah.
Prepare us for that one. Look, everyone is entitled to their
They're
guilty
wrong.
pleasure.
I thought you were gonna say wrong opinions.
That as well.
But yes.
Well, listen, you're free to like it. If you want to say it's good, then we're going to have a discussion.
No, the reason why I want to say that is because when this new Indy comes out, a lot of people are going to look real fondly on Crystal Skull, and I want to be ahead of the curve. I'm going to be like, hey,
Damn
I
it,
said
you
that.
have a
It's like
point.
the prequels.
And also, like, the Hobbit trilogy, The Rings of Power. I know. You're damn right. So, the trailer for Indy 5, right? It was clear that the female in it was better than Indy. And, you know, like, oh, there's a giant boulder here. I think she saw it and tripped the trap before they got caught in it and all that. And it's just like, I actually love female action heroes, okay? And I love it when they're done right. So if you want a more recent film that's done excellently, Alita Battle Angel, okay? It's one of the best recent depictions of a female action hero where they actually present her femininity as a virtue, and she doesn't have to act like a man to feel validated as a strong woman or anything like that. And it's a compliment and celebration of femininity and the feminine strengths, okay? And it's not that we have an issue with female action. No, that's bullcrap, okay? The issue
I love females. I will go on record.
Me
to say
too.
That.
Me too, right?
Nathan,
I like my wife.
My wife is my female action hero. It's when they purposely try and not only like, because I actually don't have an issue when men get belittled. I just say be even-handed and do both. Because guess what? Stupid men are in the world, but there's also stupid women in the world, and we're seeing a distinct bias and tilt that's only going one way. And then when you actually belittle and subvert a beloved character for the sake of building up this, you know, new female character, I would probably have as much issues with it if they did the same way to establish a new male character by making him look like a bumbling idiot and the new male character is always saving him. But you don't see it with male characters. It's always going one way because they're so desperate to prop up which side, right? And so that's what ticks me off. That's what sets my teeth on edge. And when Indy's a classic hero, right? And it feels like Indy 5 is just there to, you once had testicles, I'll take those.
but it's more than that. It's got time. I'm pretty sure it has time travel in it. So they're going to be rewriting
Retconning
the original.
everything.
Yeah.
It's going to be member berries throughout, and then at the end, they're just going to crush your childhood.
Kind of like the Flash movie.
And Star Wars. And
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Velma. Scooby-Doo.
Marvel. Yeah.
Halo.
Halo, yeah.
So bring it back. Traumatic memories.
So much. If I ever go to therapy, I'll just open Nice Watch and say, look.
There's been amazing amounts of crap lately. And look at the consistent thing. Wheel of Time. Where there is a certain group of characters that are constantly belittled and shown as incompetent and always upstaged, and they're always simping and praising another group of people. It's all the male characters. And this is coming from the group of people that demand you need to be able to see yourself in the films, and it comes off across completely hypocritical. I actually don't agree that you need to see yourself in films. I just say make good films, make good characters.
At least we have Dune. Yes, Dune was good. I loved the new Dune movie, and I'm actually excited for the next one.
It was very well made. I didn't enjoy it as much, but that's only my subjective taste.
Right.
But I am looking forward to number 2. Like to me, the thing that would have completed is because it was cut in half, and
exactly.
so watching it together,
I also like the original. I don't know, 19 whatever year they were. I love those films as well. They were a period of the time, shall we say?
So there we go. This new teaser thing for Indiana Jones 5 is just another sign of a steaming pile of crap on a plate. That will be Indy 5, and we'll be there. We'll stay on watch for that one. In terms of staying on watch, I think that would be worth just addressing The Last of Us, because people might have noticed that we haven't been reviewing it.
Say something else.
What?
No,
that's
kidding.
All right. The reason is maybe I'll do a summary recap, but I haven't even watched the last episode because I've fully checked out of Last of Us now, because episode 3 told us everything we needed to know. Okay. Joel in 1 is a guarantee at this point.
Yeah.
We know where the story is going. They are going to destroy the character. And not only that, they're going to double and triple down. They're going to go further with it. All right. And then it's also proof that this whole property, even for the good storytelling that's there, is only there to push their agenda. It's a propaganda show. I don't want to be preached at. No, I'm checked out.
Did I tell you what I thought of that episode? I don't think I did.
No.
All right, so I didn't care as much as you. Like I probably I don't know if I'd watch it in my own time. Like the whole show, just because I know where it goes, so I'm not really feeling it to begin with. But that episode, I didn't think it was the best. I didn't think it was the worst thing I've ever seen.
So
I wasn't as aggrieved as you. I didn't care.
Well,
that
no.
much.
If they were gay or straight, there are so many problems with that relationship and love story. Already bad writing, okay.
Right.
And I could do an essay on the issues that
I don't
have
know.
with that.
I just
But
can't
then
help. I can't help sympathizing with a prepper who just like he wants the government out and then he starts building all his own stuff.
My biggest criticism was how irrelevant it was to the story, and it was only there to push their representation that they wanted, to the point where they will hijack their entire show, basically the entire episode. And I don't care if they have an episode that's about a gay relationship if it's good for the story. My criticism is just as big as if it was a straight couple, to how irrelevant it was.
I do feel it was irrelevant. Yes.
Exactly. And then we find out the reason why they're willing to hijack and go off script for their entire show, right, was because of the agenda and their representation. And
we do know where it ends up.
And the director said that. He said that he wanted to trick people into watching a gay romance. I don't have an issue necessarily about watching a gay romance, especially if it's done real. I think the romance in Brooklyn Nine-Nine between Captain Holt, they don't go into deep romance, but their relationship is actually really good. It's charming, it's funny, they have an interesting dynamic, it complements the show.
Captain Holt is just an awesome character all around.
It's a brilliant character. It's one of my favorite characters. I love the comedy comes from character and it's not desperate, and he can deliver such funny things with just low emotion. I love Captain Holt, right? And so that's the thing. When it's about the agenda that they're pushing, it's not, because if they actually just wanted representation, it's like, all right, weave it into the story. That's fine. Okay. Don't care about it. I have more concerns about it being forced into children's media. That's where I have certain...
I do think there's something to be said about seeing how other people dealt with the outbreak. Like, that's why I like the first part, how you see that how he was different. He prepped and he did his own... I do like...
Because that was relevant to the story?
Well, yeah, because we're seeing how other people did it. Because you see, planes falling out of the sky. I found that interesting. But the whole episode focused on that.
They hijacked the episode for that.
Yes.
Like, I thought it was going to be a short flashback to contextualize something that was going to happen in the episode between Joel and Ellie. And then it just kept going and going. It's like,
yes,
we got a whole episode of this. And, for me to enjoy a love story, it needs to be, one, done really well. Okay, this one wasn't done well. But, I can enjoy Pride and Prejudice, right? But... do you think I'm the type of guy that likes watching rom-coms?
Wow, I mean...
They're freaking painful to get through. And this show that's just promising to be a zombie apocalypse, interesting dynamic between father, surrogate, daughter thing, suddenly wants to give us a rom-com. And I'm like, what? And they say, oh, no, the interesting thing is that it's a love episode in a post-apocalyptic thing. They barely dealt with the post-apocalyptic thing. Like, one zombie dares approach their gate. And then they kind of get attacked by raiders, and then this prepper who's supposed to be so good suddenly has an aneurysm and does the most retarded things to fight them off by standing in the middle of the freaking road.
It didn't feel like a zombie movie at all, or TV show. Like, their whole episode, they live in a nice, clean house, they're eating steak every single night.
That was a funny day for me, because just around the office and everything, all day, those two were just angry.
I just wanted a Last of Us TV show with Ellie and Joel.
But this is the evidence. They are using the love for the IP to push their propaganda. And I was like, I know where it's going. You've told. And by the way, if you saw episode, was it?
We haven't seen
the next. I saw the two episodes after that, and there are very strong elements where they're willing to break common sense and reality to have their representation and stuff. And there is a leader in the later episodes which just does not make sense. And by the way, it's not that she's necessarily a female. It's that she has no authority or strength or command. If you had a guy who was skinny, weak, had a really weak voice, and it's like, so we're going to just kill you now and stuff like that.
Hi guys, it's me, Nathan.
No, but I would be thrown out of the show just as much this. And then you have this insanely competent kind of guy who, and they didn't establish that maybe he is maintaining her authority or anything like that. And that was just another example. There's multiple things where this is just the message, and they're using they're being more clever about it this time because they're actually they're able to use better storytelling to sneak in, force people to watch things that they might not necessarily be interested in wanting to watch.
They got you.
The director said that that's what the purpose behind it. And that's subversive. They're not there to give you a good story. They're there to try and social engineer society's as if using media, and that just pisses me off. So no, I've checked out. Done. I know where it's going. Maybe I'll do. I don't know if I won't force you guys to. Maybe one of us, me, will do a recap on because look, there's bad storytelling elements, but there's also some good elements as well. But still, it's like it doesn't deserve the attention at this point.
Nathan, do you have time to watch hour-long episodes every week?
But at the same time, like by episode 3, I should be connected to Ellie and Joel as characters.
Oh,
and
yeah.
by that point,
They have miscast Ellie dramatically.
not feeling it at all.
I think I've watched up to episode 5 now, and I still I don't like her. You should be invested in her as a character now.
So you're just hate watching now.
I'm only watching to be informed as to what's happening in the series and stuff like that. But like I said, I haven't even bothered watching the last episode on that channel. I was like, I don't care. And it wasn't good enough to keep me interested because it's not a great, phenomenal show. It's not House of Dragons by any means. Okay. So
I wish it was though, because it was the best.
I think that was what was that? Indiana Jones. It started on that. one?
No. It was a new topic talking about Last of Us.
yeah,
was
we
it?
segued
Yeah.
onto Last of Us as another
But I
topic.
think it started at Indiana 5.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about this?
The YouTube CEO.
YouTube situation.
So we did we mention
We did
We did a video on it.
Yeah, that's right. That's all.
For a moment, a celebration because someone actually stepped down as CEO.
We really need to take small victories. Yeah.
Before the storm comes,
Yeah.
okay? Just,
Sometimes the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. I'm concerned about it's a complete gamble. The next person isn't actually CEO. Interestingly,
What are they?
were they changing titles?
if you have a look at it, he's not considered a CEO, and I'm not sure if this is a temporary placeholder position until they find a CEO, or if they just don't want to have a head YouTube CEO. So it almost feels like then they have a fall guy, and because Wojcicki, she's still there. And so I wonder if she's going to be the puppet master. I don't know.
I just know the new guy was an advocate for the dislike button removal. He wanted to put NFTs on the platform.
I'm pretty sure he
mean-
was an ad guy, right?
An ad guy wanted to increase ads and make the adpocalypse basically. So I'm not saying that the new person coming through is going to be any good. I was just celebrating in that video for a moment.
But let's be clear here. It's not good right now either. Like, there's a reason we have to censor so many things. There's a reason why we can't say so many things because we're on YouTube. And, like, even when you look at, what is it, the ad rating thing, we have to tick boxes like hateful and derogatory. And it's like, we're not even saying anything hateful. We're just talking about discussions. And you have to tick these things or else you can't get monetized.
Potentially sensitive things.
Controversial issues.
And I can't swear. I want to swear.
I might have forced that anyway.
It just takes so long to edit them out. I don't want to.
Well, you're doing well on the live stream.
Yeah, because I don't want to edit anything.
I don't know. I don't know where YouTube will go in the future. I hope it gets better. There's no guarantee. I'm glad alternatives are rising in prominence.
Any you'd recommend?
I mean, well, look, we mirror our content on Utreon, but also Rumble and Odyssey. So you can find us there. Also, you can support us on Utreon, Patreon, or Subscribestar. If you appreciate the content, the help would be very greatly appreciated because ad revenue is just going through the floor at the moment. YouTube is becoming more unstable and more unstable. So your support would be genuinely appreciated. If you could spare a couple of dollars, $5, Patreon, Subscribestar, or Utreon, those are the three main ones. Let us know if you would be more likely to support us through memberships on YouTube, by the way. I have always been concerned about memberships on YouTube. They seem to be working out, though. But my concern is demonetization on YouTube. There's been times where they've just thrown demonetization, and I'm concerned if you have all your eggs in one basket, they can.
Yeah.
If your memberships are on YouTube, what if they just say we're barring those? We don't think you are, clean enough, or you're too problematic to have these supporters. So we are withdrawing membership support. And so, look, Patreon might do the same as well, but that's what Utreon is probably the best at the moment, and Subscribestar. Those are the most secure donation platforms. And we do have a Rumble, if people are asking.
We also, hopefully, soon will be revamping our merch stuff for both the main channel and Night's Watch. So we'll get some good designs in. I'll just put it that way. Hopefully we'll get some nicer designs.
There are some good designs on there at the moment. But you can get chainmail stuff. See the chainmail prints that we wear? You can get those on there. There is Night's Watch merch on the Petite String store at the moment.
There'll be new stuff.
There'll be new stuff.
Tyrant wants his new stuff.
But yes, that is where you can support us. It'd be great if you would. Helps us make cool content, and we can make it better. I'm curious. I want to ask this on live stream. Did you guys like our what was it? The ASMR.
Oh, ASMR skit.
That was hilarious. I loved it.
I don't want to say it on stream. I don't like saying it out loud. Did you guys like that content? Because it's fun to do that sort of stuff. We've also been thinking of doing shorts for Night's Watch.
Yeah, that's an interesting one because shorts, I'm kind of coming around to them. I'm seeing a purpose one, but the reason, YouTube has forced it. They have screwed recommendations and growth if you're not doing shorts. But I've been doing shorts on Shadiversity, and the level of growth that you're able to get through doing shorts is actually kind of insane. It doesn't perfectly convert, barely converts to views, but those subscribers are subscribers, they're there, and I'm getting insanely greater growth with shorts. Before they changed the algorithm and shorts wasn't even a thing on the platform, I was still getting growth. Then they changed the short stuff, and regular growth seemed to have just died. But then by using shorts, I'm talking like near 30,000 more subscribers over the past several months. That's crazy.
To be clear, for the shorts for Night's Watch, we're thinking of like skit shorts.
Yes.
We're not thinking of like Shadiversity type shorts, not that type of stuff. We're thinking more the funny, like if we can do some more funny content, we'll do that for the short content.
Fairy Stoffel, more ASMR, less skit. What?
Okay. Ban.
Report.
So that I definitely interested in pursuing that. And I'll just on a side note, kind of interesting milestone announcement thing. It's not something I'd make a video on, but it's always something that you keep an eye on. Shadiversity has actually just recently become the largest medieval YouTuber in the world.
I don't want to clap louder because it might be too loud for them.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that, but it's pretty awesome. But also at the same time, I look at the other YouTubers in the community of the sword, and they're getting screwed over just more than me at times, it seems like. And the reason Shadiversity's grown that is actually I've been doing shorts, and we've been doing them well, and it's credit to the crew here, especially Nathan. Nathan is known how to do the shorts.
You all complain about me watching TikTok. Well, that's where I learned it. All right. China taught me how to do shorts.
And I actually see a value in them in terms of, if you do them right, there's dog crap shorts that are just pointless, vapid, just useless.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is Nathan.
Well, I wasn't referring to you specifically.
I am.
But I think shorts can actually be a really snappy and consumable way of delivering bites of information, because shorts are very consumable. And the way that we make them, I think they're enjoyable to watch and so easy to churn through. And so there's a way to make them spread good bits of information, especially on the Shadiversity kind of whole theme about educating medieval history and stuff like that. They're honestly a very useful tool in terms of being able to share a little tidbit of important but factual information that gets consumed. It's easy to consume, people. It's fun to watch and stuff. And so I think there's some value there that I'm definitely trying to use.
Viewers, I'm curious. Do you use subtitles on your shorts? Because that's where the real time-consuming part of a short is.
Okay, I thought that was your issue with shorts.
No.
I hate subtitles.
I'm just curious.
Dubs all the way.
I'm curious if people actually, if the subtitles make the difference, if they are what is the retention for them.
A lot of the people who watch long form content don't watch shorts. There is a kind of divide in viewership. out of the people here who do happen to watch a lot of the shorts feed, the question is, do you watch the shorts feed without sound often?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Better way to
that's
put it.
where the subtitles become important, because I found myself that I watch certain things on my phone without sound, especially when I'm in a public area and I don't have headphones. And so video content that can be consumed without sound is actually useful. There's where the importance of subtitles are with the shorts. But going back onto that thing, it's through shorts that Shadiversity has gotten like 30,000 subscribers in the last thing, which has really helped skyrocket those sub counts. And as a result, now Shadiversity, as we just passed, the channel passed Scarlegrim. He was the king for a good long time.
We still love Scholar.
Well, we love Scarlegrim, and he makes great content. And YouTube has been screwing him over. Has been like a lot of the creators in the sword community have been getting screwed over by the algorithm. Well, guys, shorts unfortunately is the way to get sustainable, continued growth. You have to adapt to survive. I didn't like shorts. I was very against them to begin with. I have found a value in them, and by doing them, and not only doing them, approaching it, especially with Nathan knowing how to do it well, and thinking, because one of the other ways that I approach is like, what would make a good short? What's a good bit of information I can share real snappy? And then we actually plan out what shorts we will make, that this will make a good short and everything like that. And that helps set up them being successful. But even more so than that, then there's understanding the system, because if you upload shorts on your phone, you can actually pick the frame to be the...
Can you show us?
Okay. All right. Hold on a second here, because I had this feature. I remember when YouTube first launched Shorts. I had this feature on my channel, but recently when I've been uploading Shorts, I don't.
If you upload on computer, at the moment it says at the moment you cannot pick a thumbnail.
Yes.
But on your phone you can. That's why
Rightio.
I get the guys to render out the shorts. Then I actually have to re-render it in a new format so my phone can accept it. And then I upload it on my phone, and then I can pick the specific frame to get a eye-catching thumbnail on the short.
Originally, when YouTube first implemented them, and they were terrible, and they were on your homepage, and they ruined everything
everywhere. Yeah.
When you would upload them, you could choose a thumbnail, but it wouldn't actually show that thumbnail to the public.
I know,
it was just to you.
Exactly, it's happened with me as well. But no, there is a way to game the system at the moment. And so, not only are we approaching shorts very intentionally.
Can we get some Night's Watch booty shorts? Maybe.
Money.
Pirate is open to it. It's just like, how much are you willing to pay?
Well, it's more like the marketing you'll get with them. You know what I'm saying?
If you're wearing some Night's Watch shorts as well with that.
So not only have we been approaching them intentionally to make good quality, watchable, enjoyable ones, but we've also been learning the system to be able to, get the right thumbnail, because the Shadiversity shorts are getting millions of views.
But they are quality shorts.
They're good shorts as well.
And they take a lot of time.
We do devote how much, average 2 to 4 hours?
2 to 3.
2 to 3 hours editing a short.
4 hours, I would say, is the minimum.
Minimum?
We put in the effort.
Exactly.
We're talking about just not subtitles, but like zoom ins, putting picture overlays, and just I think the most important thing that we do is actually planning out the shorts. Like I think if you had just said, Nathan, condense this long video into a short, would not perform as well as actually planning out a short video.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It takes a long time to get Shad's words under a minute.
I struggle with
the
it.
recordings are always like 4 minutes at least.
Condensing 4 minutes of information into 60 seconds and it makes sense is.
But they do end up being very snappy as a result.
They do, yes.
And so the interesting thing about Shadiversity now becoming the biggest everything is the message really is to the sword community, if the guys are watching and paying attention to it, is that there is a system to get quite strong growth still on YouTube, and unfortunately it is using shorts. That's why Shadiversity was able to do that. And it's an interesting position now. I've always looked up to Scarlegrim, but also I looked up to all the guys. When I started this out, Metatron, Scholar Gladiatoria, Lindy Beige, Scarlegrim, they were all much bigger than me, okay? And so one of the advantages with Shadiversity is I've always tried to make the content, and same with the other guys, but I think we have found success in making it fun, enjoyable, consumable. And there's been something, I think there's something special with Shadiversity, and to see where it's at now, it's feels good.
And there's more on the way. We've got a team now. We've got plans. We're going to do stuff.
There is a lot more on the way, guys. A lot of really good stuff, and there's announcements that we're not gonna talk about now, but there's big stuff coming. It's exciting.
It is. Like that's what I was always. We've kind of been for the last maybe year or so. Shadowversity's hit kind of a barrier. It feels like finally we might be breaking through, and we're getting more growth, which is important. Look, ad revenue has gone off a cliff. It's still in dangerous territory. I think we're starting to rebuild it, and we're putting in place plans to help make things more sustainable. And again, one of the ways to make it more sustainable for the entire project that we do here, support on Patreon subscribe side. That's the way that you guys can really help us out with that, because we need to find a way to sustain ourselves outside of ad revenue. It's way too inconsistent, way too unreliable. And
There's also a lot of like behind the scenes content, really, really funny and good stuff that we just can't put on YouTube. And we want to find a place where we can actually start putting all of that stuff for you guys to enjoy.
Yeah, there's already 2 videos that we're hoping to release to members now. There's the Shadowversity video that went out last night. There's an edit of that.
The Nathan cut.
The Nathan cut, right? Which has way more content in it.
20 minutes more.
Yeah, it's
like
almost
40
double
minutes.
the size. So if you want additional content, the longer form, special edition stuff, we're going to try and release that for supporters. And so that's Patreon, Subscribe Star, and Utreon. And so there's that. There's the longer cut version of that. But there's also like content that wouldn't necessarily... Once upon a time, I would have just thrown out on Shadowversity. But if I threw this type of content out on Shadowversity, it would harm the...
it does more damage.
The momentum you have, because those videos do get viewed less. But there are, fans that would like it.
Release the Nathan cut.
Release the Nathan cut. There's fans who would like it, but it's not sustainable and advisable to release that type of stuff now. But now we want to try and release that to members, and so there's an unboxing video. It's funny. So many more sword companies are approaching me to get sword reviews now, and I friggin' love it.
So about the sword unboxing video, it was supposed to be a short. So it's all shot in like portrait mode.
There will be a short of it, but like just only showing the snippet.
Yeah.
But it ended up being like a 6-minute record. We all just sort of like started digging in, and so that.
And I'm sitting there going, guys, it's a short one. Okay. Could be important, but we'll fix it.
Extra content for people who want to support us. We can provide that to you, and we're thinking about doing shorts for Night's Watch. That's going to be tricky to balance because we have lots of work we're getting through. Now that we have the crew really working together, we have a lot of content that we've been able to produce. Like Monday was such a killer day for us. We again, how many videos?
10
videos.
10 videos, but 6 like proper
Shadowversity
stuff.
Mm-hmm. And we're doing live streams, our Night's Watch as well, and so it's fun. It's like, my health has been bad, but because I got the help of the crew, we've been able to increase content, and also at the same time, I've been able to delegate, and hopefully, I'm still trying to find where the balance is for me. And
To that commenter in chat who said that they want a Night's Watch waifu body pillow, did you want one of Nathan or of Shad? I just wanted to confirm.
it's definitely of you.
No.
Yeah,
Yes,
you're the
absolutely.
single one. Jeez. People criticize about you.
Have you been seeing some of those thirsty comments in a recent video?
No. No.
One or two, they're there.
I prefer not to read them.
Awesome. So I reckon we should get through the super chats. We're in the wrap-up phase now.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone who's joined us for this stream on Nightly News Live. And we want to make this a regular thing. So for us, it's Thursday. It'll be Wednesday night-ish, afternoon to night in the US.
Yeah.
Weekly Nightly News, where it's going to be this casual kind of fun discussion where we get to cover topics that don't necessarily warrant a dedicated video where we can...
Or even stuff where, just say me and Nathan are covering a topic in a video and we don't have Shad on hand for it, so we can bring it up in a live stream and we can hear his thoughts as well. Stuff like that is always good.
All righty. It's a good number. God, you guys are amazing.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. All right. So who wants to kick us off? There's the first one.
Thanks, Tyrant.
Tyrant, go.
Where are we starting?
This is
Uh,
Z.
We did this one. This was with the wand, the Harry
okay,
Potter
okay,
one. So we can
yes.
do the next one. Lord X for 20 GBP. I guess I'm doing it now. Snowpiercer. Oh my gosh. Can you do it? Because I don't think my mouth wants to read this one.
Snowpiercer 2014, starring Chris Evans. This was a life-changing movie to watch. I don't say that lightly at the age of 32. Please consider doing a breakdown one day. Very dark and inspiring masterpiece.
I haven't watched it. Look, it could be great. It could be great. But, I don't know. The concept already made me think it looks a little dumb.
Right.
This is the train on the in the snow thing.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe you could justify it world building, but at the moment it seems like a very impractical solution. I'm glad, genuinely glad it had such a moving effect with you. I'm not sure it would. Maybe it would. I don't know. But
Got to find out.
It's not that we don't want to review these. Like, there's the Hulk. Everybody wants us to review, like, what is it, Hulk 2004 or something.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of old movies that we would love to review. It's just there's not enough days in a week to get things done.
But thank you for the super chat.
Thank you.
The next one's from The Lost Tales for $5 USD. First time watching you guys stream. Can't wait for more.
can't wait to bring it to you. And like I said, we want to do this more regularly. So if anyone's asking one of the questions, because we were doing streams before, there was the alt stream. They were a bit harder for me to maintain. And this type of stream is one more sustainable because I got the crew here, being able to set up, good interaction stuff. And more, it was more about time and getting things online. And because I was the only member of the crew in the stream, it was very reliant on me kind of pushing everything, the conversation and stuff, even though Nathan was mainly helping me behind the scenes on it, but not always. And so it just kind of fell by the wayside. It was harder to keep up. But I think what's good about this is when I'm not up for it, guess what? We got the guys who can still manage it. So that was the kind of Achilles heel with the all stream, but making nightly news live is much more sustainable, and so we can bring back live streams on the channel.
And there's always stuff that's happening during the week that we just it's just too small to cover in like a full video.
Yeah,
that we do want to talk about. We do want to talk about these things. It's just we can't justify dedicating a full video to something really small. You want to read the next one? I think you're up. What are you looking at me for?
So this is from Wolfspan for $4.99. Says, FYI, Harry Potter wands canonically range between 8 to 15 inches depending on the wand.
See? Yeah.
This is within wand sizes.
Right, but
That's an average size
Stop trying to shame the size of my wand.
that's
Tyrant.
the Elder Wand, and the Elder Wand is actually 15 inches.
I don't know.
or,
my glasses.
If it's an elder wand, you'd think it would be a bit more, bit limp, wouldn't you say?
Limp. That was the word I was looking for.
Harder to get the spells.
We don't need you to speak from experience. We just need to move on, all right?
Bastard. Oh, that was fun. I love you, Tyler.
Shots have been fired.
Oi! I've got 5 children, buddy. All right? I've got evidence of how my plumbing works.
Oh, whose turn is it? I think it's...
Checkmate.
Is it mine?
Yeah,
All
yours.
But this one's to Shad, so...
Say it like if you were saying
Okay.
it to Shad.
Hey, Shad.
Hey.
Oh,
Operator $5.
Sorry. Hey, Shad and all, just wanted to say your videos are the first ones I watch when I wake up. Keep up the great work, guys. Love y'all.
Thank you, man.
That means a lot.
And that's in USD, so I'll say that again. Love y'all. So, thank you.
Don't shame the US accent.
I didn't shame it. I just wanted to put it on so it's
Yeah.
more realistic.
So they can understand us.
I want to try and do an American accent. And that's too put on. If I was trying to do a more American, I'd be kind of speaking a bit like this. I think it still sounds a little bit fake.
It sounds Australian.
Sounds. I can't do it then.
Our accents are a bit too... It's funny because we don't even... Obviously.
I think I can do Scotland pretty well. Don't you think, laddie?
You always switch between Scottish and Irish.
I know.
when you do it.
I get Scottish and Irish mixed up
That sounds like Sean Connery.
Because Irish, Ireland is a bit more like this. I think my Irish accent isn't too bad.
Right, yo, mate.
Right? Where you just have to kind of change the tonal pitch of your voice, and you start to speak a bit like that.
Well, you got it.
But Scotland, you want to get the oof. It's the Scotland, the Scottish accent.
We need to be a bit more contemporary with... Oi, bruv. What do you think you're doing, bruv, there? Well,
I can do Polynesian pretty well, bro.
I'm sorry.
Moving on before I offend
Moving on that one.
too many people.
Yeah, we've got 3 nationalities down.
We love you guys. Don't worry.
The next one's from the Aussie Juggalo for 5. Did I say that right?
Yeah, I think
okay,
so.
good. Okay. For $5 Australian. Loved the ASMR skit you guys put out. Please do more skits. They're hilarious. P.S. I'm not into ASMR.
I don't believe
That is
you.
what an ASMR lover would say. I would know this, having been one in the skit. I want to emphasize that as well.
In the skit.
In the skit.
Something I want to mention is the analytics. So what you saw at the end of that video is the screen of what we see. So what you guys search for as subscribers, it tells us like, oh, are you searching for, things about Marvel? This ASMR was the top topic for like a month. You guys were searching for it. You guys were searching for ASMR, which depresses me.
Xander Zant Z for $4.99 says, what do you think of people like Razorfist saying Witcher is a complete ripoff of Elric of Maliborn? Melnibone. I feel like the character and stories are different. Look, I've seen his video. I think it was quite insightful. I've mixed feelings because imitation is the greatest form of flattery, and I have no issue with people gaining inspiration from other things. I do think you'd want to change it up and do your own spin. The one that I think rips off more of that type of stuff is Warhammer 40, like in terms of the ideas of chaos and order and stuff. I think that is lifting a lot. But there are some interesting parallels between The Witcher look and Elric. Look, it's a great video. Go watch it, and I'll let people make up themselves. I don't know. It certainly hasn't ruined The Witcher for me. And it helps promote like a classic fantasy series. And so check out Elric. There's some really, really cool old school stuff.
Zanzibar White for 10 freedom dollars. For me, detaching the art from the artist ends when their actions are directly harmful to others. There's a reason I can't watch the movie Chinatown anymore.
Interesting. I don't know the background of the Chinatown
Neither do I.
stuff.
Sorry. Bud.
Good point. Yeah. And so I think everyone has a line, and that's certainly one that has greater influence when you see people.
When it's actual harmful impact, not just like they said something that I don't like and I'm hurt now by this. That is not the same thing.
And there's going to be things that have a greater influence or impact, or people have a stronger reaction to based on their own kind of preferences, background than others. And so, it's an interesting thing to observe when people decide time to boycott. And I don't necessarily think boycotts are the same as, say, cancel culture. Boycotts is more of a result of a free market operating, they can be influenced, but still
it usually, when it crosses into the line of like interference, like if something gets taken down from like a Patreon or something like that, that's when it stops being like a boycott and becomes more like influence.
And also when there's personal attacks, because there's an interesting blurry line that you could say is both, because people are free to, what they say, vote with their wallets. But if you add that in with vilifying attacks, because for instance, I think Orson Scott Card has been the victim of the cancel mob massively. In fact, he was one of the canaries in the coal mine that most people missed completely when Ender's Game was coming out. People just attacked him massively and tried to ruin the film. And I think the film underperformed a little bit as a result. And so, boycotts can be intertwined into a cancel culture mob and mentality. And I think one of the differentiating things is if you're attacking an individual per se. But the thing is, though, was Harvey Weinstein cancelled? I don't know what you'd exactly call it, but what he got, he certainly deserved, the scumbag, right? And so there are people worthy of cancellation in the world. That's the hot take. But I'm mostly against cancellation. But then I guess I have a line as well. And so it's.
I love it when you talk sometimes and you just like take left turns that just.
What do you
throw
mean?
Me out. It just brings up Harvey Weinstein. I'm like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that.
It's relevant to the topic of conversation, I would say. Well, do you think that's an equivalent type of cancel?
I wasn't expecting that right then at that moment.
Because then there's definitions. People actually say, no, cancel culture, the definition is actually when it's not justified. And if there's a justified type of cancellation, it's not necessarily, people say that's actually not cancel culture. Cancel culture. So there's no official definition, though. I don't know. So I get confused.
Yeah. Jack Mason for $5 US. After the success of Hogwarts Legacy, I think the elite are going to reevaluate woke, non-woke media. I am really enjoying the game. That's good.
I hope so.
I really enjoyed the game. Nathan's trying to get through it, and he's in
Level 3! I've had it for a week.
I'm waiting for the mods. Bring on more mods. True. I'm gonna dive into
the Gunn mods.
I'm enjoying it too. Don't worry. No problems, but I like it. The gameplay's fun, which is the most important part to me. We've already read that one.
Yes, from Shark Dentures. Talking Pulp Press for 20 USD. Hey boys, hope all is well, and I'm ecstatic to see you streaming.
Thank you, man. And Talking Pulp Press, love your work, mate. Appreciate you.
I think we read that one as well, didn't we?
No, we haven't.
Do that one.
So Atticus for 10 Canadian says, seeing the books in the back of Shad's in the back and Shad's love of Four Wheel of Time, was just wondering if Shad reads Brandon Sanderson. Dude, what is there? This is all Brandon.
What are those?
Not only do I read Brandon Sanderson, I consulted on Stormlight 4 as the weapons and armor and combat thing. I'm in the credits. So yes, I read Brandon. I've worked with the guy.
Funny we should say that, because one of our short ideas for Night's Watch was going through the bookcase.
So true. That's the way it hints. I need I need Rhythm of War. Do we have Rhythm of War here?
I feel like we go through this every single time.
Because I think it's inside. I need to make sure to bring it out because I want to open it and show you my friggin' name in the book. So yes, I love Brandon. I've been re-listening to the Wax and Wayne trilogy so I can get to The Lost Metal. I haven't read The Lost Metal yet, and so I'm excited for it. But yeah, thank you for the super chat. So plan for video on the coming last book series for the Stormlight Archive Era 1. I don't know. We'll see. We will see.
It was this one that we read, obviously.
Yeah, Kikoman.
Kikoman for 200. Thank you. Show you. Kikoman.
But we did read it out. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So Cyborg 100 for 10 GB.
Pounds. Just pounds.
Shad, one question. You're Gen X like me. We were pre-warned of this going to happen. Everything from the two Ronnies sketch to Skynet being controller of the world. Why surprised by it all? You could see warning signs, but it just kind of progressively got worse.
And it's different watching it in the movie than seeing it in reality happen.
Yeah. We got some great stuff in the 90s as well, though. And so it's bizarre how things have gone crazy and off the rails. Yeah. So I'm like a lot of people, I guess I didn't predict it.
I think people just stopped caring and just things kept going. People stopped caring.
I actually think people who, I don't know, have certain influence in the world were not paying attention to cultural things, and it's actually still a problem in conservatism and other areas where they don't take pop culture seriously as how socially important they are and how much they help frame society. Okay, and what I have noticed for a long time, Hollywood's morals have always been on a higher degeneracy level than most society, and sometimes it's vastly higher, but it's always more. Okay, and Hollywood has always tried to push it. Like you can go back, if you like, even pretty far back to say the 60s and 70s, right? You will find certain things pushed in media that were more risque than what the standard was in society, because Hollywood always seems to wanted to push that, because the people of power in Hollywood, they love the sex and drugs and everything, and they want to try and justify the lifestyle, promote it, and they're also in the bubble that they think that's what life is like, and so therefore all this standard kind of stuff that you see that works against traditional values and the nuclear family just kind of gets promoted more and more and more. Like, if you think about, say, Titanic, right? There is an underlining story there of a girl of good breeding, good family, good upbringing who gets attracted to a guy from the wrong side of the tracks and ends up losing her virginity in the back of a car, right?
That is our Titanic summary.
But essentially, but then the whole message of the film was that she was celebrated for embracing her, freedom and finding love and stuff like that. And the framing of the film was that was a good thing, that a young girl decides to shack up with a guy she hasn't known for very long, and she was even willing to strip for him without like there's some problematic things you could say in there from a more traditional conservative point of view.
Review of Titanic coming soon.
Right? But that's one of the interesting subtle things that Hollywood, they've been doing this for a while, where they just want to try and push their standards or represent their standards as celebratory and they don't celebrate the opposite side of things, like traditional values and stuff.
I still think that Hollywood does these things to be entertaining because regular people who don't live those lives are they find it entertaining, the degeneracy.
Well, see, this is where I sometimes push back because, for instance, I think Game of Thrones could have been just as successful if it didn't have the excessive amount of borderline pornography or just full-blown porn in it.
In the early days with Emilia Clarke, that sold House of the Dragon. It did.
Maybe I'm wrong, but the writing was freaking good, man. I mean, and there is less gratuitous nudity in House of the Dragons, and it's arguably as popular because the writing is so damn good.
But you can't sit there and say that, oh, well, we want women to wear short skirts like in Supergirl because I was a little boy and I loved it, and then go at the same time.
Well, there's a difference between short skirts and full-blown nudity, man.
But there's different levels for different people.
Hollywood has always been pushing the line further, though. You got to agree with that.
Yes. But regular people find it entertaining because their lives aren't like that.
Yeah, and I think there's a vast difference between, like I said, gratuitous nudity and sex stuff like that, versus having kind of sexual appeal, right? And just show, like...
I'm cool with both.
Well, a lot of people are, but even me, who's vastly more conservative, right? I think... I mean, it's good that women are presented as feminine and attractive and men presented also as strong and heroic and attractive, okay? It's one of the great things about classic comic books. They celebrated human excellence, both male and female, but now it's being subverted back. Well, the feminine kind of ideal is being subverted, and then the exploitation that feminists have been trying to claim victimhood for women for ages is being done to men. You flick too hard, right? And there's no objection there, and so the hypocrisy comes on full display. And that's what I call it. So that Super Chat brought us places.
Now imagine trying to condense that into a short.
Next one is from Tim Weber for $2 American. I'm enjoying Atomic Heart, fun but flawed.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
At least you're enjoying it. Next one's from LitDev.
Literature Devil.
Yes.
Dude.
For $5 USD. Hail to Shad and the Shad Council. Ooh, I like that. Hope you're having an excellent whatever time of day it is over there.
We are. These streams are fun. I'm enjoying this. This is good. We're doing it. We're doing it.
We're doing a live.
We're doing a live.
Who wants the next one?
Pips from White Cloaks. Hey,
that brings back.
This brings back memories. So White Cloaks was a subreddit that were the only ones calling out Wheel of Time on their Wheel of Time TV show for its bullcrap. And Pips, I believe, was one of the either mods or people there. So Hail Knights Watch, greetings from @WhiteCloaks. They have a new YouTube channel now, guys. Check it out, White Cloaks. Where our vigil continues. Season 2 and 3 news looks worse than ever, but we are taking solace in good media like reading Tolkien and supporting content creators like you. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. And guys, support the White Cloaks as well. They're on doing their job, doing the job as I don't know. We'll continue.
You in this one? No. Mua Dib for 20 American. They retconned the canon, so now every... Oh, okay.
Hang on.
Did you want that one?
I'm glad I read ahead. Basically, spicy
This is
wizards.
the YouTube censorship.
Yes. But you all saw it in the chat,
Wizards,
so...
diverse wizards. They've retconned the canon, so now every diverse wizard is as adept as Dumbledore in casting ability. I don't know enough to confirm.
Good sensitivity editing there, Shad.
Oh, thank you. I'll do my best.
Should we get a sensitivity training?
For super chats, I feel like we need it.
Well, this is because of YouTube. Regularly, we wouldn't care, but
Yeah.
we have to, unfortunately. Minefield. There's a minefield that we have to.
Which is why I want to put the behind the scenes content out on like Patreon or something where we can have more fun.
Okay. We'll see what we can do. Dragonsworn for 20 US says, Shad, what would you think of Henry Cavill as Dalinar in a faithfully adapted Stormlight Archive series? I think Dalinar, I feel, needs to be a bit older. You guys haven't read Stormlight. Henry Cavill has the stature. Dalinar should have a strong stature. And look, maybe with a beard he could pull it off. Like Dalinar, you almost need someone who has a voice like Liam Neeson. Right, of like really strong and just exudes authority. Liam Neeson, I think, is a bit too old now. I think you need that stature. Dalinar is a strong warrior. So I can't think of anyone else that come to mind. But yeah, so Henry Cavill, I don't think it would be, like I said, he's got the stature, but not the perfect kind of casting in my mind. Interesting thought though, and thank you for the super chat.
Next one's from Static Noise for $5 New Zealand dollars. Greetings to those in the West Island. He asked us one before about how do you feel about the
yes. So thank you for that.
Thank you for that one. We went deep dive on that one. The next one is from Snafu for $2 American. Happy birthday, you three.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're like,
I know,
9 months early, but
We're talking about it is 100% our birthday. All
now
of us
it
on the
is
same
because
day.
of the super chat. He's gifting us a birthday present. Thank you. We
That
appreciate
is
it.
Night's Watch canon now.
Let me read this one.
okay.
So I saw your comment last night, mate. It really touched me. So this is from Self-Confessed Cynic for $20. 20 Australian says, thanks again for everything, Shad. I'm the one getting baptized this Saturday to the LDS faith. Your example and the...
LSD faith.
Latter-day Saint.
Oh, Mormon.
Yeah,
Your
sorry.
example and that presented by the wonderful people I've met in the church was a big part of why I believe today. Means the world, mate.
That's awesome.
And I'm really happy for you. Thank you. And so Winter Ranger for $10 US says, sensitivity and DEI experts are just rebranded political commissars. They are Marxist thought police who ensure that everything fits the false reality they want, not the actual truth of the world.
Well said.
Well said.
Like,
I'm not going to disagree.
Well said.
From Tenrax Heelan
mm-hmm.
For $5 US. Hey Shad, when are you going to review the medieval movie and review The Last Kingdom?
So I've watched the first, I think, 2 seasons of The Last
Me too.
Kingdom.
I'm pretty sure I have, if it's the one I'm thinking about, and I liked it. It wasn't terrible. But...
Ultimately, I think I settled on not liking it, but it was borderline watchable for me. There was some really frustrating things, like the reaction of the king to this guy who basically almost saves his life and does these amazing things. When he forced him to get punished through the streets, I was like, "Are you a freaking more?" I was on, and so there were things that really frustrated me in The Last Kingdom. It's been too long now since I've watched it. And
you'd have to rewatch
I can't be
that.
bothered rewatching it for a full review, and I'm not sure it'll get a lot of interest or views. That's the other thing. I haven't even bothered watching Medieval at the moment, and I don't know. Again, it's time. It's a new movie. Look, I did a reaction to the trailer on a Shadiversity live stream, so that's there. You could check that out. I have some thoughts there. I'm not sure if I'll ever get to a review though.
Did you want to?
Go, Tyrant!
For Kikoman, who gave us another $2, who said,
$20 from Kikoman.
No, 2.
Oh, there's
Two.
more. Kikoman is on multiple.
I miss Internet 1.0.
So you're not into Web3 and crypto and NFT?
Really? Haven't you heard of Web3? It's the new metaverse.
Night's Watch NFTs coming soon.
Well, no. The next one is from Ryopool for $5 USD. So are you all going to address what happened to Marcus?
So Marcus had to let go, and it wasn't because of his work. I really appreciated the work that he was able to do here. It was more trying to balance his own work life coming into things and also resources that we have available. Like, honestly, if we had the money to be able to justify it, I would have loved to have kept him on, but restructuring needed to happen, and that's what we were trying to work through here. And so, no, Marcus isn't with us, and wish him all the best in the future. This is just what happens when you're trying to balance on business, unfortunately. But, and I don't know, I don't really know the best way to address things like that, because people come and they leave, right?
I'm glad you brought this up, Chad. Because recently, I don't know if you remember Back Pocket, they Good Game rebranded basically.
Yeah.
One of the hosts started this year is no longer with them.
Oh, really?
And they addressed it without addressing it. If that makes sense. They said, he's no longer here, we're not going to tell you why. It's for his own reasons and whatever. But I think a good thing for Night's Watch at least is to maybe just say, for some people at least here, for viewers' sake, it was weird because obviously people have left before Night's Watch and we've addressed it in different ways. But being on the other side of this, having a host who I liked,
being a viewer,
being the viewer, I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. I think if we just let people know straight away what's happened, where we can find them, maybe.
Would a community post work best? Because I don't think it justifies a dedicated video. I don't know.
Community post, maybe. I think it depends on like the person who's left as well. Like I think if I leave, I want a video.
I think you deserve a video. Right.
But you know,
By the way, we were
I think-
actually trying to make a video for Oz when he left as well, and it just didn't work out ultimately because
Yeah, he wanted a montage of Best of Oz's or something as well, and
Well, we're bringing on Tyrant and Marcus while we were trying to do that, and then it was going to conflict with their introduction to the channel, and it felt a bit out of place to do the send off, and then because I wanted people to, I don't know, so it's messy. You do your best as you can.
tricky.
People come and they leave.
but I think just let people know straight away and why,
Yeah.
and that gives us all closure.
And if resources open up to the point where we could bring Marcus back, I would love it. It's really going to depend on where he's at in his own life, because there were difficulties. I don't want to go into personal details and stuff that were also influencing the decision, and so that's we just had to make the call. That's where things are at. I'd genuinely wish him all the best in the future.
Cool. All right, the next one is from Kang Got the Fangs for $5 USD. Would you like it if Kang was portrayed by different actors?
As in the different Kangs? Like,
the
I think
Conqueror,
the actor of Kang does a fine job, and if he was just given a good script, he might be able to carry a menacing villain. But look, there were interesting issues. Tyrant, you brought up that he always looked like he was crying.
Yeah, maybe it was just me who noticed it, but I felt like every line he was delivering as Kang the Conqueror, not the variants and stuff, but in every line there was something about it felt like he was fighting back tears. That's just how I saw it, but maybe that's just a me thing.
So yeah, I don't necessarily think it would improve it or not. They just need good scripts and.
He still did well. He still did
well.
a really good job. I like
Some actors just can't do the job. I think Brie Larson is pretty weak as Captain Marvel, and but like the actress for Miss Marvel, I thought did a phenomenal job. She actually helped carry that show more than it kind of deserved. It was still ultimately boring, and the character just is not one that wide audiences are going to find great interest in, and so that's going to die. But I think the actress did a great job, honestly, and so. There's some ones that do a great job, better than it probably deserves, and then ones that underperform. I didn't really see anything wrong. I thought he did a fine job.
I'll take this next one. Kikoman for $20 US. Show me, show you, Kikoman song. How is the Titan sword coming along? Carbon fiber, carbon fiber. So, the Titan sword is... We have the stages, right? So we can't just jump straight to the Titan sword because it could just be a disaster. And it costs... a lot of money. So we have to, we're in the testing phase.
Yes.
We've got a couple of smaller, well, I'm not going to say how many, but we've got...
Well, we already announced this on the materials video.
Right. What did we?
Yeah, we said we're going to be building a smaller sword,
Right,
test sword, which will then determine how...
But then we're also doing another smaller sword. So there's currently 3 in the works for carbon fiber. That's the plan, at least. The first one, which we're going to be starting very soon, hopefully next week.
That we're hoping, that's the plan.
It's still going to be a while away. There's a whole bunch of logistical stuff, but we're getting started on the small one next week. And then where there's going to be a full build video and testing. Like, we're going to do a video on that sort of stuff. So you guys will be able to follow along. And then hopefully, if it works, carbon fiber works, we'll be able to do the big, giant, 3-meter long sword. Yeah. Yeah.
That was an engineer's pause right there.
Stages, but we're still working on it. And first one is like small, like test things, but we'll still make videos out of those test ones. Yeah.
So you guys will be able to follow along with updates.
Cool. The next one's from Wolf Spain for another $5 USD. The new Batman is supposed to be older if he's going to have Damian as his Robin, around mid-late 40s. Henry is in his late 30s, a perfect counterpart.
Completely agree. Like the fact that they want a young Superman, it's just... And I half wonder if to try and justify a younger Batman, because they haven't said that Batman will be older to justify Damian. They might just have Damian be one of the first. Damian will be the first Robin for
they
Batman,
could just change it.
and just forget 3 other like backstories and everything. And what bothers me is like my favorite Robin was Tim Drake. But he's been ruined to become like. He was such a cool character as Robin.
I think we already mentioned it in the video.
I know, but I'm going to mention it again. He's in Teen Titans. I got it right here. And the Robin in this is like a tactical ninja. It's great. Where's this? Here's old Robin. But anyway, it's interesting. Like, there's so much story that you could work with. It seems like it's trying to skip so much, and I don't know what. But that could be one of the things that they're going to do is just retcon. Like, they don't exist. Damien is the. I don't know. Dick Grayson would have been fine as Robin. Why are you forcing Damien? Damien also seemed too moody and up himself. I never really liked Damien as Robin.
Why?
No, it's just funny. It's just like, well, I never like, he's so up himself. Isn't
He is. It's like they tried to make Robin too edgy and stuff. And like Tim Drake, he was like awesome.
You need a balance with your heroes. You can't have them all being up themselves depressed. Do you want to get this next one?
I don't want to read it.
Oh, okay.
You could. I want to hear Nathan read it.
Angela Richer for 10 USD. Simple question: can we get more Tyrant?
As in Tyrant, like a
Just add
TH?
add a H on.
like a Tyrant body pillow.
No, thank you, but just add a H on and it's all
That's
good.
a great idea.
Tyrant body pillow
Get more Tyrant.
in shorts.
Like it has this get up in the newspaper.
You know what? If it means that we can get new merch, then hey, that is the price we have to pay for some things.
And I want it like and the pillow should be like this, so they can like spoon you as well. I mean, you're getting enough. I think he's always on Night's Watch. You're always on Shadiversity. You want more?
They want more.
More?
I'm only one person. I can only do so much.
if you want more Tyrant, he does have a YouTube channel. You can check
This
it
is
out.
true.
I do.
And the YouTube channel is called Tyrant.
Oh, it is. Yes,
It is.
Yes. Just add a H on the end. That's all good.
Cyborg 100 for 10 GBP says,
Yeah.
there's idea for Night's Watch compared Red Sonja, Ripley, Aeon Flux, Alita, Underworld, Resident Evil, Sarah Connor, compare with new female heroes. Interesting.
I like that idea
Yeah, like comparing good female action heroes to the new ones.
because I like a lot of
the
that.
notes.
I like a lot of those franchises.
I know, like, there's some phenomenal female action heroes, and the idea that, you know, it's not enough representation and boys, that whole Jennifer Lawrence things where boys will,
I was the first.
I was the first, and they won't watch a female, well, something along the lines of like they won't watch an action film unless it has.
I loved the Underworld series as a kid. That was
It was
awesome.
one of the most uninformed, retarded comments ever. It's so narcissistic. And there's been like Tomb Raider, Aliens. You could go through a massive list of like all these classic female action heroes that people and boys have been friggin' into for ages. So anyway, good suggestion. Fadadio McDonald for 5 US says, this is why I enjoy Japanese anime and manga better. They are not afraid to belittle and make fun of men and women. Like, sometimes, yeah, having a character there for comic relief, like, there's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's when it becomes one-sided. And especially when it becomes hypocritical, because you see all these, you know, feminists that have been complaining, how dare the woman be the butt of the joke, but then they're happy to do it for men, because it's not actually about equality. They want supremacy. They want to oppress and misrepresent men in the way they feel women has been misrepresented. And that's why it's actually an immoral movement. And when I say that, it's the people leading the charge, the thought leaders that are doing this. And there are signs again and again in modern media where men are constantly belittled or sexualized in the way that they said was problematic if it was done for women, that they're okay with, like Thor being stripped and then women ogling him and all that stuff. And then Wheel of Time with all the men being belittled moronic idiots. And then like feminist monopoly, where only women get 200 passing go, and like they don't want equality. They want
What?
You never heard of feminist monopoly? You look it up. Feminist monopoly, like, literally only gives women 200 for pass and go, and not
Yeah, I
men.
think it's like Monopoly or something.
And so,
yeah.
if you wanted a sign
Guys get
that,
like
if you
150.
want a sign that is not about equality, it's about supremacy, and that they want to oppress the oppressor that they saw, which is very much in line with kind of certain.
So what is like the patriarchy monopoly just normal monopoly where everybody gets 200 when they go?
But they're trying to, that's like,
Apparently so.
right? And then there's so many things where they try and advocate, they claim equal pay in certain industries, yet they don't claim equal pay when men get paid less, like in modeling. Like women get paid way more. Women models get paid way more than male models. No advocacy there. But they're okay with imbalance in their favor. And then when they claim imbalance, they actually skew the results like market demand and everything like that. Because guess what? Female models are in demand more because women consume fashion, magazines, just material way more than men. And so therefore demand equals revenue, which equals money, everything. But guess what? It works the same for sports. There's a higher demand for male sports because they perform at a higher level. And so they generally get paid more, not because of sexism, market demand. And so anyway.
Marksman of 117B. Have you seen Mauler get molested by a fridge named Nora in Atomic Heart? No, I haven't. Nora is the best girl, 10 out of 10 game. Mileage may vary.
Baller's the one that mentioned that there is a fridge that's
yeah.
trying to do inappropriate things with people. I have not confirmed that this is the case. I'm going off Mauler, but...
Man, maybe Atomic Heart is a really good game. We just...
Fridges are just misunderstood, okay? Our last one is from Mark's... Oh, it's from
Not the last one. We'll have to refresh.
Yeah, we'll refresh. For now, it was from the same one, Marksman of 117B, who said, True Pop Culture 7 has a 4-minute meme vid of the event on his channel, referencing Mauler's video, and he watches it, and the reaction is gold.
We might have to check that out.
like National Geographic, but for like memes.
All right, so we're just going to refresh these supers, and because we've got a couple more. But we might need to. I think you passed it, did you? Yeah. Oh,
No, we got a lot more.
Wow. All right.
Oh boy. Okay, we're gonna keep. Okay, yeah, here we go. Okay, that's not too many.
Okay, so this is from Kick 'em on again for $5. You mad lad, you.
Thanks, mate.
Please consider to invade #1 Iron Age Booty Daddy stream. Great dude, streaming right now. So this, I drink with Crazy Royce, love him. He was on all stream pretty regularly and all doing that, and so
I've been saying daddy a lot today. I don't know how I feel.
They just like him, okay?
Daddy tyrant. You gonna call me that from now?
No.
So Dennis Table for $2 says RPG supplement. Check out CogentRoleplay.com. It is the RPG game made by myself and my brother, Jazza, and it is for free.
Yes.
Check it out. There you go.
That's a great prize.
Skyrim 96
Yeah.
for $5 said, "Have you read Raging Golden Eagle's comic yet? It's called Blade Devil."
I have not. I would like to check it out. I like to try and support the independent ones. I've ordered a couple ones, like Dragon. So I now forget the name. And Grog. But anyway, somewhere in the. I'm waiting on some independent ones, and also Literature Devils one. Yeah, so I'll check that out. Cool.
Kryptonian Jedi for $5 American. Hail Knights Watch. Shad, have you considered starting a locals / Rumble channel? Nick
Rakita.
Yep, has one, and he absolutely loves all the free speech.
Already have. Night's Watch and Shadiversity is on Rumble right now.
Rumble. Lord X for £5. You said, was it?
Yes,
it's
pounds.
Okay.
It's pounds.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, I should say I don't have a locals though. I haven't understood the locals thing, but Rumble, yes. So
Yes.
continue.
Okay. I like to read these before I say them, just in case sometimes. Okay, so Bong Joon-ho is the writer. He has a good body of work. I do understand you guys sound busy. Keep up the good work.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's in reference to the shout out to one of the Indiegogo campaigns.
Yes.
Yeah, it must be.
Tyrant, stop touching my foot, okay? Footsies is not okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so definitely not Tony Hawk says, I hope you read this. Okay, if you ask, I hope you read this in Scottish. I donated for a graphic novel. I was wondering when that would be coming. As soon as we can. We have hit delays with the printer, unfortunately. We're working through the process. Don't worry, you will get your books, okay? The money is sacred. It's locked away. And so if things don't work out with this printer, with the money is there, to do it with another printer.
As soon as they come in, there will be like, he will be running around with a video saying, look, guys, we've got like...
Trust me, we have not forgotten. And these delays are frustrating. We've been trying to work through them. And there's a number of reasons. And depending on how things play out, maybe I'll spill all and share the process with you. But at the moment, we're working, trust me, working with it. And so I'll give it, as I said, Ryampool for $5 uses. Hey, Shad, any update on the show for your book? I absolutely love Shadow of the Conqueror. If you go to the indie, I think it was a Kickstarter actually, they post an update, so you can get an update there. And look, they've run into some stalls as well, but do understand, separate thing entirely. This is Project Iradia. I was certainly helping out as best as I could, and I hope to be able to see something. I've seen the rough cut, and there's potential there, but it is going to take work to polish and finalize, and they have run into barriers and issues in post-production. So I wait with you guys as well. Oh, who wants to take this one?
The next one was from XL Visa for 100 USD. Wow. Thank you.
That's a lot of freedom dollars.
I missed almost the whole stream. That's okay. I hope you gents are doing well. We are, and the good thing with streams is that you can go back and watch them.
And thank you for the generous super chat. We appreciate it. And all these super chats are generous. Appreciate you all.
The next one's from Kamal Adnan the First for 500,000 rupees.
No, Jesus, man, those 50,000 rupees.
Sorry,
I think
it's live. Suddenly, I've become nervous.
500,000.
I know you're all watching me.
There's a comma there.
Give him a break. They're pretty harsh there.
Sorry, we've got 659 concurrent viewers here.
Sorry.
You know, it's that lens.
I forget that I'm the only one who's actually not wearing glasses at the moment. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm blind. Yeah. I mean, you should be blind too.
Are you being ableist?
I am.
Okay.
I need some sensitivity training.
Yeah, but you know, okay. What you make up for sight, you lose in smell and taste.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I smell things in the office.
Look,
he doesn't smell nothing.
We've already confirmed there's a
okay, I think I need to address that because that sounded weird. I had a Red Bull on my desk and he could smell it like a bloodhound. And it's like, I can't smell Red Bull. I'm sorry. I just can't. Unless I have my nose in the can.
But we've also confirmed that you can't hear a range of octave sound either.
Oh,
that we can. So if you want to get onto whose senses are more acute.
Okay. I'm going to address this. There was a video that I edited, and there was a really, really, like a hum, basically, and I couldn't hear it because I operate on those levels.
You have bad hearing.
No,
really.
You hear my voice. It also operates on those levels.
You've been trained. Totally hear that. Guess what? That was a low frequency though. It was a low hum.
So
you should have picked it up.
I couldn't hear it.
So I heard it. I was like, well, we need to try and fix that. Tyreth was like, what? And then Nathan is like, oh, yeah,
I can hear it.
Yeah.
We might lack in the sight department, but it makes up for our other senses.
Yes. Like when you touch my foot, I can
now
always
who's
feel
being
like,
ableist?
Nathan, we're like Daredevil.
yeah. I can hear things.
I
can't read signs though, which is dangerous while driving. What were we up to?
There's no.
We didn't finish reading because you said call me blind.
Sorry, Kamal. Sorry.
Okay. Who said? I saw the video about your health, and hope you get well soon, Shad. I wish you all the best and thank you for all the hard work you do.
Appreciate you, mate. And this is a really bizarre disease. There is no known treatment, and so I just need to try and do the best I can in terms of what seems to help pace myself and not tax and things, because I have been pushing myself, and that's like, if anything, I've been getting worse, and that's one of the confirmed things that can make it worse. And so I've been restructuring my entire life to try and adapt for it. And like, this type of thing is okay. Like,
I was about to say, yeah, like he can sit down and talk.
Exactly.
He can do that.
Okay. It's physical movement that can really just destroy me. And walking and standing can be really tough. And look, it's not to say this doesn't drain me. It does, probably more than a regular person, but I can maintain it and it's less taxing. But I appreciate your concern. Life is what it is. You just got to deal with it.
The next super chat's from Kikuman again for $2 USD, asking Kikumo's song. It is PC.
Maybe not this stream.
Not this stream.
We can only digest the Kikkoman song in stage. I think
If you want to watch it yourself, you can go find it. That's fine.
You can find the Kikkoman song, people. It's available. It's online.
Next one is from Kai Showman for $199 USD. Would love a Dragon's Crown Pro play through here. Dragon's Crown Pro.
I haven't
heard it.
Dragon's Crown.
Sorry, I haven't heard of that.
I'll just move on then.
Yeah. We'll
move on.
We'll look at
This next one I want to read
Okay.
by Wala Yamana. I have no idea how to say that. Sorry.
Walayamuna.
And I'm actually not even sure what that currency is. Is that ruples or rupees?
BRLR 10.
Thank you. Absolutely love your work. Keep it up. P.S. Nathan, please don't pretend to be angry on videos. You look like a chihuahua.
Pretend? I do not pretend. This isn't acting.
It makes you laugh. How could you say no to that?
Also, it's better than my Seinfeld. Have you heard about the thing? I mean, I can't admit to that.
What? Yeah, like
It's who I am. Accept me.
are you shaming him?
This is your safe space, Nathan. This is your safe space.
It's safe space once you leave.
People don't complain about my anger.
No.
Because people love it.
I wouldn't.
They come for that.
I can deliver.
Please don't say it like that, Nathan. But yes, they do show up to see you be angry.
Really? Really? Thank you for that, tyrant.
Get your mind out the gutter. You read the next one too, then.
But are we up to Wolfsbane?
Yes.
For $5 US. Hey guys, did you hear about the game I Am Jesus Christ? It's a Steam game where you play as Jesus and go through the events in the Bible. I have not heard of that.
All right. Is it respect? Like, as long as
I think I've seen it, and it looks like a very poor attempt.
Is he throwing hands? Like, I'm just trying to figure out.
I think it's like a genuine try, but
so, the life of the Savior is a very sacred thing for me, and look, if it's done respectfully, but still, like, I don't know, taking control of a character that represents the Savior. To me, look, I'm not saying everyone should have my standards or everything. To me, that's too disrespectful. Because people do things in video games, and this is a very sacred part of my, life. And yes, I probably just and the if they've done it sincerely, okay, I'm good for them. I'm glad that they're trying, but yeah, it wouldn't be for me.
kick him on again, bro.
We appreciate it, mate.
For $5 American, Shad, Royce got the signed leather-bound Tears. Would you be willing to jump on a stream with him? I know you're busy.
My health is not, enable me to do more work and stuff like that. When I'm available and I got time, I love Royce. I think is great, and I jump on a lot of streams when I'm available. If I am, don't know, but he's streaming now, people. And so after this run, go jump and say hi to Drink with Crazy. I love him. He's a good guy. There we go. Maybe in the future, we'll see.
Xander Zoranz for $199 USD. Best sword fight in movies.
Mine is Troy with Achilles versus Hector. Personally, I love that.
I did a whole Fights in Autopsy.
I know.
Versus Hector. Look, I really like Battle of Mustafa in Revenge of the Sith, lightsaber fight. Of course, all-time great is Princess Bride.
Is that a sword fight, though?
It counts as a sword fight.
Okay, well, then I changed my answer to that. I just thought, well, when you say sword, I meant sword, so I went medieval with it.
Princess Bride is brilliant. The one with Liam Neeson, is it Rob? I forget the one, but that one's got a decent one in it. yeah, there's a lot to choose from. It's hard for me to pick really what would be my favorite. Because honestly, my favorite is actually probably the Adaria Olamonk YouTube video, which incorporates historical swordsmanship into a fast-paced movie-style fight scene, and it's glorious. It's like top tier. I've never seen a film fight scene reach that level of quality.
Nathan?
Princess Bride.
It's a good pick. It's a good pick.
I picked Star Wars. So like, yep.
It's just hands and they're all good fight scenes now.
Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. One of the
Classic.
greatest films ever made.
So good.
Riample for $2. More Shadland videos coming.
We hope so. That you might have figured out why there's been a stall on Shadlands content. I'm just managing what I can, guys. As things continue to progress on the Shadlands, we're always going to take opportunity to make videos out of it. But development on the property has stalled as well. We need to focus on a couple of other things. Money's always up in the air, and so. But as soon as things happen, we like to try and make content out of it. And so I'm glad the channel's there. We will get back to it. I know my lovely wife, the lady, she wants to try and make some videos as well. So don't know when though, but they'll be there. So I'll get this one. This is Stained Revenant for $9.99 US. Critical analysis, which is worse in the long run? Something borderline unwatchable that doesn't stain legacy, or something a few notches higher that scars a beloved IP? I have a feeling the latter. I would actually say the borderline unwatchable that doesn't stain the legacy. I get particularly insulted when something scars and just bastardizes a beloved IP.
I don't know, man. Like when things ruin IPs, like the sequels. I don't
But
like.
they only said a couple of notches up. But I give it to me because this is the thing.
But it's scarring the IP.
Something
That's what
that
I really.
That's what I mean. That the scarring the IP is worse, and the scarring the IP does worse for the IP than a work that's slightly worse in the writing department, but still is respectful.
I thought you said something that stains the legacy.
No, I'm saying stain the legacy. Yeah, we're in agreement. Yeah.
Happens all the time. And then there's just this one. From Marksman of 117B. See, I can say it when he says it.
I give him courage.
True Pop Culture also made a 1-minute video of your infamous wagon rant, Shad. His videos are coming to gold using cuts from Friday Night Tights.
So, on Friday Night Tights, I had a bit of a rant about the wagons in Road.
Can we not talk about that, please? I just don't.
You're scarred with that one.
I don't want to talk about that. Like, you may have noticed that I am the one here who doesn't like the cringe. I try to make things funny, but not cringe. They love the cringe.
You need to embrace the cringe.
No,
The cringe can be
embrace
great sometimes.
I feel it in my soul. I just cringe. I can't stand.
We'll inoculate you to it eventually.
I'm good.
Literature Devil for $5 US says, "Don't worry, Shad. I know from experience that an indie publisher can face all manner of unforeseen obstacles. There are so many things that can go wrong. Yeah, it's a difficult thing, and that's why if there's an argument for traditional publishing, it's that they can alleviate some of the work, some of the stress. But I couldn't do it now. Yeah."
What?
Okay.
Next one.
Okay.
Next one.
I'm just waiting for the
No, that's fine. It's fine.
next one. It's from Adrian Wright for 10 USD. Please check out and make a review for Creative Assembly's Warhammer 3 on Steam. The different cultures and weapons armor would definitely be a good night's watch and Shadiversity content.
Thanks for the suggestion.
We appreciate the suggestion. Maybe. Can't guarantee we'd get something like that. There was another one up the top.
Yes. I'm just going to refresh. Okay.
Right.
Because something like that, like reviewing a game, that's a big time commitment.
It is.
So
It is.
Yeah.
That's the tricky thing.
Okay.
Do we need to stop and cut it off because they keep coming through?
All right, we need to start speed running.
Okay,
them.
so this was the last one.
Yeah, I'll
we
get
had.
this next one. Please check out that. So that was the. So Ramble says Shad shouldn't have gotten the jab. I agree. I was basically forced to because there was a short film in Canada that needed to be done.
Canada.
It was actually really important that I was part of that and helped it out. And you were not allowed to travel unless you had the poke. I didn't feel I necessarily needed it. I think I could have handled COVID just as well. And there are people trying to say that perhaps some of my recent symptoms, like pericarditis, as a result from it. I don't know. The thing is, the pericarditis is a direct symptom of chronic fatigue syndrome. And so could it have increased the results, or could it have been just from that, the poke, or is it from literally the symptoms of chronic fatigue syndrome?
Just to be clear, you've had like ongoing fatigue issues
for years, well before I
yes.
had the poke. And so that's why I'm kind of more inclined to think that it's not necessarily a result of it. But if it is, there's no way to know. Yeah, but I agree. I would have preferred much more so to never have needed to get it. And the need wasn't for health. It was because of the draconian bullcrap, oppression that they put to coerce people into getting it, which is disgusting. Next super chat.
It's from Wolfsplane for $5 USD. What do you think of the sword fights within the movie The Count of Monte Cristo? It's a favourite of mine and has a young Henry Cavill in it.
Okay, so there's a lot of versions of Count of Monte Cristo. The version you were mentioning, I think it has Guy Pearce in it as well. And also, is the guy from Person of Interest, which is a brilliant TV show, by the way. I really love it. It's a great film, and the sword fights aren't the best in the world, but they're far better than a lot of other. They hold up. They're good, and I actually like the film overall, and praise the film, story, acting, everything, all the things, even more than the sword fights necessarily. It's just a great film.
One from Daniel Todd for $5 US. Shad, I think you should check out the YouTuber Grandad Jack. I think you will like him.
You think I'd like Granddad Jack? We were going to try and promote and give it a shout out when we get the next Shadlands video, but there was a stall on that. But
Yeah.
So Granddad Jack is my dad. He's got a YouTube channel and he makes fun, great videos. Go check him out if you're interested. And it's just good, wholesome kind of content. My dad he's a master craftsman in many areas, and I'm like my dad in a lot of ways.
He's a master craftsman. I'm like my dad. I'm
a
a master too.
Not the master craftsman thing, but we get passions and interests. And so you know how much I'm into medieval stuff. Well, my dad, it's all trains and Western culture. And his wealth of knowledge in that area and history is easily equivalent to mine, if not bigger, than I have an interest and knowledge in medieval history and stuff. And so it's just interesting seeing that kind of parallel in the passion. And you're going to see that type of content of the things that he makes and talks about on Grandad Jack. Go check it out. It's my dad. He's making YouTube videos. It's in the family.
Family business.
Legit though.
Next one's from Ozeus for $5 USD. Have you heard of Saint Young Men, a manga of Jesus and Buddha as roommates in modern Japan?
Nope.
See, this would be too sacrilegious for me. I would never censor people or anything like that. And I think people should have the freedom to parody anything. But this is why I'm actually cautious of parodying other people's kind of sacred beliefs or religious beliefs, because to me, there's an area of you don't go there. And then I try and respect those same boundaries of other people in their beliefs and stuff. But that's not me. I wouldn't impose my standard on other people. But that's the type of thing I'd be like, oh, no. That's too, yeah.
Shadow Lion Zero for $5 US. I have a palette cleanser for you boys after Velma. Mystery Incorporated is an Indiegogo-funded Scooby-Doo show. Consider reviewing it. Might check it out. See if we'll check the trailer out.
How do they have the rights if it's going to be
I have no idea.
All right, well, yeah, we'll give that a look. All righty, we will quickly refresh because I think we're coming up to...
I think that's all.
I think that was just the last one. I don't think there was any message with it, though.
So if we just jump back to the live chat then. Zatak from behind donates $2. Usually that's like an accident and they forgot to type something. So, but we are wrapping up now. So sorry, Zatak from behind. Love the name though. But we're closing off. Maybe catch us in a future stream. We'll be doing this regularly, and we do appreciate the donation and appreciate all of you wonderful people for joining us. It really seems like everyone's had a great time. I like the chat's been awesome. We really appreciate the donations. This has been fun.
I joined the Shadiversity Discord today. Jump in, say hello. I'm in there.
Go.
So's Nathan.
So it's the Shadiverse Discord, and it has a section for Night's Watch there. So
Yeah.
check it out. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us on Nightly News Live, and we will hope to see you next week. And until then, stay on watch.